Welcome back to SABC's broadcast of the Ultimate Human Race, the 2014 edition of the Comrades Marathon. It's the 89th running of the event. It started in Pietermaritzburg at 5:30 this morning, and we have seen our top 10 and top 10 men and women come through the finish line here in Durban, which is where our studio is situated. One of those ladies coming in the top 10 was none other than the legendary Zola Budd Peterson. She's held world records. She's a former world cross-country champion. She's been to the Olympic Games, really an icon of the sport, and now winning this iconic South Africa, well, rather competing and ending 7th in this iconic South African race. Congratulations, Zola.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I mean, just your international accolades are well known, but what does this gold medal here at Comrades mean for you?
It's probably the hardest race of my life that I ran today, because I started out too quick and I went through a bad patch and I had to walk, and I just came back and hung in there. So for me it was emotionally probably the hardest race ever in my life. But I knew I had to hang in there, and because I was running for Pia today. But compared to my international career, this is so special to be part of this, because ever since I've been a young girl and watched Bruce win Comrades, I've always dreamt of maybe one day I can get a rose as well. So I had to wait till the old age of 48 to do that, but eventually I got there. Yeah.
Zola, you know, when I spoke to you in studio before you actually came to take part in the event, you said to me, I'd like to just maybe do a little bit better than my debut of 8 hours. Yeah. You absolutely smashed that. You knew you were in great form. I
knew I was in great form, but I never know with a longer distance. With 2 Oceans, you can still sneak away, because it's just like 14 k's longer than a marathon. But with Comrades, it's a total different ball game. It's such a long day and such a long race, and a lot can go wrong. Luckily, I could recover halfway through the race and come back. But so I don't like making predictions about the Comrades.
You are one of those true distance athletes that doesn't like to speak up what exactly they're going to do. We had Bruce earlier on saying this morning that an ultra runner will not say, I'm going to smash this time and I'm going to do this and that, like a Muhammad Ali will. Just take a look at the screen. That's you coming in, and the entire Sahara Stadium Kingsmead was shouting, Zola, Zola. Did you hear them?
Yes, I did. The support was amazing, especially when I went through my bad patch, and people helped me and supported me, and it was amazing. And the athletes as well, running the last 10-15 Ks with them. I don't know their names even, but they really helped me and nursed me through. So it's just amazing the support you have from the athletes as well.
Now, you ran your very first Comrades in 2012, and you learned some very valuable lessons from that. Do you think that helped you in today's race?
Definitely, because in 2012, when I went through a bad patch, I started panicking and I didn't know what to do. But today I knew, okay, just walk a bit and get enough sugar in and make sure that you recover, and then you can keep on running. It's not the end of your race. So that really helped me, and especially when I ran with Bruce, he really nursed me through, and he pointed out all the main hills in the course and what to do and what not to do. And I thought of him a lot today when I ran, and the advice I had when he gave me in 2012, which was really helpful.
All right. You went through a little bit of a bad patch at Kawi. That's about 17 kilometers to the finish line. Yes. Here, what was going through your mind, and what actually happened?
I was really going through a bad patch, and I was almost like going to sit next to the road and just hope and to feel better. But then I thought, no, let's make a plan and just walk through some of the water stations and make sure you drink enough Coke and recover. And that's what happened. And so I was glad that I could actually go through that bad patch and recover.
I suppose you also have this feeling of, I'm doing this really tough race, sometimes I must just push through it, and maybe that's not always the best tactic when your sugar levels are low, and it's knowing that balance, when to actually say, okay, now I need to slow down and I need to do 1, 2 and 3, and let's just push through this.
Yes, it's when your blood sugar levels fall, you can't really push through. You have to stay back a bit and just make sure that, because it does recover quite quickly again when you drink enough sugar and you take the right substances. Yeah.
How do you feel when your blood sugar level gets low? So you know that it's not just another pain that your mind may be making up at such a long distance into the race.
For me, I start sweating a lot, and I get very cold and dizzy, and that's the main symptoms I have, and then I know you're in trouble.
Yeah, it's also about knowing your body very well.
Yes, you have to, and luckily in my training I've gone through this as well, so I've learned to adapt. It's something that I've been battling with a long time, and luckily I've been able to adapt to it in the last few years in my training and racing as well.
There's something that they talk about in the Comrades Marathon, and that's that psychological wall that you hit.
Yes, yeah. I think I hit it quite a few times today. The first time was this morning when I woke up and I told my sister, just remind me never to do this again. So, yes, you do go through that. And that's what makes Comrades special, because you go through all these ups and downs emotionally. And that's what also makes it a very lonely race, because you yourself have to really pull yourself through that. But that's what's so amazing, because you have all the support along the way. And especially today, because I was running for Pia, and I really had to pull through and keep on running.
All right, we just saw a couple of tweets on the screen a little bit earlier on people saying how much you've inspired them, and also some messages of support for Pia. I hope we can perhaps get some of those messages up so that you're also able to see just some of the reaction that has been going on social media when it comes to what you've been doing, and also your yellow ribbon that represents that you run for Pia Corky.
Yes, Pia Corky, yeah. Yes.
Just tell us a little bit about that relationship.
He was a coach of mine in 88, 89, and he's a dear friend. And so he's from Bloem, and he's been a teacher there at Grey College for more than 20 years. And he was captured more than a year ago, and he hasn't been released. And I thought, as a runner, that's one thing I can do, is to dedicate my race. And I asked other runners to run with the yellow ribbon as well today, just to raise some awareness of what's happening with Pia and other South Africans as well that are also captured.
You announced a couple of days ago that you would be dedicating this race to Pia Corky, and his wife then came out also into the media to appeal that people keep this top of mind, because he still has not been released. When you spoke to her, what did she say?
She was very supportive, and because I'm an athlete and a runner, and I come from Bloem, and the running community in Bloem is very supportive of each other, and it's a small community, so it was a good idea to involve the running community as well, and bring it to Comrades, and I'm really thankful for the support I've had.
What was the reception like when you got other runners to also don a yellow ribbon, to also take up this cause and dedicate their races to Pia?
I think runners are very very sharing people, and immediately the reaction was amazing. Yes, so we had at the expo we had loads of people come and take yellow ribbons to dedicate or to run for Pia for today.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Zola, a lot of people know that you are based in America with your 3 teenage girls, and what else are you busy with currently?
In America, I'm a volunteer coach at university, and I help with development of because in the middle school in South Carolina specifically, there's no organized sport, so we started running clubs at different schools for the kids to be more active. So I'm involved with that, and then I'm involved with Newton running shoes as well.
And you helped develop the technology behind that, I believe.
A little, not much. No, I just appreciate the technology behind it, because I was a barefoot runner, and then transitioning to shoes has always been difficult. Yeah.
Let's go a little bit back to today's race, because one of the favorites in the women's race was Shanae Bosman. Now,
yes.
She actually collapsed and she fell out of the race beyond halfway. You actually saw her collapse. Just tell us what actually happened.
I was running, and as I passed her, I said, "Shanae, are you okay?" And then she just fell. She passed out completely. And luckily there were people around that could help her, and there was an ambulance down the way, and I stopped and asked for them to go and help Shanae. I'm not sure, I haven't had any news after the race what happened to her, but she just collapsed. I was really worried, and I think she was really not feeling well. I mean, if she passed out. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the latest that we've gotten from her manager and from the Nedbank team, which is the team that Shanae Bosman actually runs for, is that she is currently in hospital, but she is okay. I'm sure, as well as a South African, it's horrible to see something like that. You know, running is that kind of sport where you don't just want to beat your competitor, you're always wanting to beat yourself and your best. And I'm sure seeing another South African runner in trouble like that.
Especially Shanae, because we've known each other for such a long time, and we've been to Zimbabwe together on a cross-country races, and I mean, she actually grew up in front before me. So especially Shanae, and I had high hopes for today, because I really think she's a great runner, and today was just one of those days. As long as she can, as long as she's healthy, she can always come back and have a great. Because last year she had a great race.
Yeah. All right, I'm sure lots of South Africans are getting behind her, also supporting that she comes back. Now, Zola, after your 7th place finish here at Comrades 2014, many will be asking, maybe next year we can see a better placing. Could Zola be our answer?
I think the best question like that should be left for about a week from now when I've recovered. Not just after the race. I think just after the race I'd probably say never again. But in 3 days' time, I remember last time I ran, I told Bruce I'm never going to do this again, and 3 days later I called him and said, do you think I'll be able to do it again?
So maybe we could have Zola back and going for a win.
No, I think that's a bit far-fetched. I think today was one of my better races in my career, and I was really pleased with that. So, yeah.
That's Zola Budd, Peter, after she ended 7th here at the 2014 Comrades Marathon. A true legend of the sport here in South Africa. It's been great having you here in our studio to chat to you, and of course dedicating her run today to Pierre Corky, who remains in the hands of terrorists that are not yet releasing him. And the call still goes out to please release this teacher who has affected and helped many young people's lives here in South Africa. All right, so I've been in the studio, but out on the road we've had Kwena Maubelo, who was at halfway, and we've also got Minnie Dlamini, who is out at Kawi's Hill. That's 17 kilometers from the finish line. So let's see who she has that she's speaking to.
How's it go? All the way from Australia. How are you feeling?
Yeah, pretty good. Quite tired now.
Is this your first Comrades?
Yes, it is.
And how are you feeling?
Oh, the inside of my legs are pretty sore.
Is it what you expected it to be, though?
Absolutely. Okay. It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
Will we see you next year?
Maybe.
Maybe. 70 kilometers to go. You're still looking strong.
Give me a couple of days after this, and then I'll let you know.
No problem. Keep it going, guy. Unjani? I'm good. Ngiyaphila. What do you want to say to umuntu ohlele ekhaya namhlanje ocabanga ukuthi maybe next year I want to do the Comrades?
Ngifuna ukuthi acabanga ukuthi it looks impossible until it's done. Yeah. I have done it twice, and this is my 3rd time, and I'm hoping that I will do it 10 more times.
Keep it going. We'll see you soon. First time runner, how are you feeling?
I'm very good, my dear.
And is it something you think you'll be able to do in the next coming years?
Definitely.
Well, Tabo, keep going. 70 kilometers to go. 20th Comrades Marathon. 20! That is insane.
It's an honor for me.
Yeah.
I'm doing this for my grandchildren.
Yes.
Yeah, I think next time maybe I'll try to rest.
Yes.
Because these are 20 times to Comrade, and I've done 20 times to Ocean. I think it will be a rest for me for this.
But you know what? Next year is the 90th Comrades Marathon. You can't miss that one.
Oh, yes, I know. I'll try. I'll try.
So we'll see you back next year. 17 Ks to the finish line. We'll see you later.
No, thank you.
Sure. Keep it going. How you doing, guys?
I'm fine, and you?
You guys are looking good. You're feeling good. I can see it. How many times have you run? This is your 2nd?
Yeah, it's my 2nd.
And you're feeling strong? Is it better than last year?
Yeah, I'm going to finish now. Now.
70 kilometers. We'll see you in a bit, ne? When you think of running the Comrades Marathon, is it all about making sure that you improve every single year?
Yeah, because my first Comrades, I'm starting 2009. I'm running about 8 hours, 38 minutes because my first marathon. And then I skipped 2011 is up run.
Ufuna ukuthini kubantu abasekhaya about the Comrades Marathon?
Oh, ndithi mabayinjoyele mani bandikhuthaze kudala ndiyenza le nto kudala just started in 1994 join road running.
Well, sifisela yonke inhlanhla mbuthola imedal yakho ke Putram. 17 Ks to go. Looking good.
Sesikoleni seseDimbaza ngoko ndisuke eDimbaza ndijike eKinglemstown phinde back again to eDimbaza kodwa ndiseport Alfred ngoko.
Sharp.
Ekhaya okay ndiyabonga.
Ambe kahle. Sharp. How you doing?
I'm all right.
Good. 5 Comrades marathons. This is your 6th. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling well.
You feeling good?
Yes.
And the gloves, why? Are your hands cold? Or is it just a running thing?
It's just to wipe my face.
Just to keep good?
Yes.
Okay, well, we wish you all the best. Now, keep it going.
Thank you.
Sure. Putram, what's up?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
I'm fine, man.
And then,
I'm on the run.
on the run to where?
Yeah. To Etaquini.
Okay.
To Etaquini, yes.
This is the sign that you've been running with.
Exactly. All the way from Maritzburg.
All the way from Maritzburg.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sharp. Keep it going. I want to see a nice sprint there. Come show me. Show me what you got. What?
KEPSITA, Sustainable People Development for Prosperity through partnerships with business, communities, and government.
With 15 seconds on the clock in the opening half, Africa strikes, Ghana strikes, and he hits the bar.
Catch the 2014 FIFA World Cup from the 12th of June to the 13th of July on SABC TV and radio.
As we raise the skills of South Africans, we move to a more prosperous tomorrow. For over 12 years, KEPSITA has contributed to raising skills in the tourism and travel, hospitality, conservation, sports, recreation and fitness, arts and culture and heritage, and gaming lotteries sector through the partnership with business, communities, and government. KEPSITA, Sustainable People Development for Prosperity.
So to Kawi's Hill we go as coverage of the 2014 Comrades Marathon continues. South African winner in the men's event and a British winner in the women's event. We'll get Ian Laxton down at the prize giving shortly as we approach the 8-hour mark. Well, Kawi's Hill, this is the final killer for so many athletes in this race. William Tolo and Dr. Ross Tucker alongside. And Ross, you look at some of the athletes here. This is where you're going to see a lot more of the walking. Stephen Myers is a man with the heart rate monitor. He's a renowned long-distance runner. He's done over 100 marathons in his life, and his heart rate currently 158. Take us through the medical heart rate for a man of 53. That's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, not bad. The problem for Stephen, and I say this with respect because you can see where he is. He's on the way down in towards Durban, so he's going to finish this race comfortably, is that his speed is only 4.3. So that means that he's currently probably walking up this hill or one of the other small hills on the way. We checked in with Stephen earlier and his heart rate was 145. So it's higher now, but that's normal because as you dehydrate, you lose fluid. Your heart rate has to increase to compensate for that. And one of the mistakes that a lot of runners make, and if anyone at home is in this boat, they try to use their heart rate to judge their pace. And the problem is, on a race like Comrades, is that by the 8th hour, where we are now, your heart rate at the same pace is considerably higher because of the dehydration and so forth. So you can be quite easily misled. But we'll maybe check in with Stephen one more time before he crosses the finish line. It seems that he has got this race nicely in the bag also.
So many of these athletes doing this for a sense of personal achievement, a sense of satisfaction, a huge sense of self-respect, self-discipline that goes into this race, and the preparations for this race really is immense in terms of the discipline and just getting through actual race day. Despite the preparations, you still need to feel up to it, and this is not something that you can simply get up and do. Even some of the people who've prepared throughout the build-up to this event can't go on and finish it come race day for a number of reasons. You need to be up to it.
Yeah, singatsho babuke lapha emakhaya ukuthi ngampela insizwa siyabona ukuthi kunzima lapha phela kade ziqale zigijima kusile. Siyabona ukuthi ziyawokha ke ezinye zibe ziqale zigijime futhi. Kusekude phela ngoba siyabona basagijime 8 hours. Okusho ukuthi kusekude lebe yakhona uyabona ezinsizwa zibhandishile nalapha emadolweni okusho ukuthi ke zinama injalo basikhathi kugijima kuba khona ngampela kuba khona abanye bagula abanye futhi amanjalo kodwa ke bathi no sizawufinisha noma kanjani.
So finishers approaching the final stages of this 2014 Comrades Marathon. For each and every one of them, a sense of personal achievement and a wonderful sense of upliftment as well when they look all around. The inspiration that you get on Comrades Race Day is always tremendous. And speaking of tremendous, Ian Laxton is down to present or begin the prize giving, and what a day it's been for South African athletes. 1, 2, 3 in the men's race, and Great Britain claiming gold in the women's race. Let's join Ian Laxton for the prize giving.
Well, here we are on the stage for the prize giving of the 2014 Comrades Marathon. I'd like to introduce the guests that are on the stage here. So we'll go from the right-hand side, my left to right, and a welcome, please, to the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, Mr. E.S. Mchunu. Then we have the MEC, KwaZulu-Natal MEC for Arts, Culture, Sport and Recreation, Mrs. N. Sabidla Sapeta. Then we have Mr. Don du Toit, the Interim President of Athletics South Africa. Then Mr. Selo Mokoena, who is the President of KwaZulu-Natal Athletics. Then the CEO of Kathsita, Mr. Mike Tsotsetsi, the Vice Chairman of the Comrades Marathon Association, Mr. Peter Proctor, Miss South Africa, Rolene Strauss. On behalf of the eThekwini Mayor, we have Councillor L. Naidu, and right at the end, the President of SASCOC, Mr. Gideon Sam. Round of applause for our VIPs. I'd like to begin with the first award today, which is for the first KwaZulu-Natal Man Home, and that goes, it's a trophy and a large cheque for 30,000 Rand, if you want to come on with that. Congratulations, Bong Musa Mthembu. So the first award this afternoon goes to Bong Musa for the first KwaZulu-Natal athlete across the line, Bong Musa Mthembu of the Nedbank Club. The first KwaZulu-Natal woman across the line likewise wins a trophy and a large cheque for 30,000 Rand, and that is Fikile Umbutuma. Is Fikile here? Okay, looks like Fikile is no longer or not here with us right now, so let's just focus on Bong Musa. So there's our first KZN Man Home. Fantastic run by Bong Musa Mthembu. He's got a couple of gold medals and he took control of the race early on, and he just ran a superbly judged race to come home in just under 5.5 hours. Mr. Gideon Sam at the end, congratulating him. Okay, the next award is for the first South African Man Home. Bong Musa, don't go away, because this time it's 175,000 Rand, and the first South African Man Home is Bong Musa Mthembu. So Bong Musa Mthembu's bank balance has suddenly gone up quite significantly. There he is. So Bong Musa then again, not only the first KZN man, but therefore by definition the first South African home. Okay, the next prize we're giving is the first South African woman home, 175,000 Rand. That is the biggest check she's ever got in a road race. Congratulations from Nedbank to Caroline Vosman. The first South African lady home, what a run that was. Fantastic, in the top 10 from the Nedbank Dream Team. So well done to Caroline Vosman. She's going to just get congratulations from everybody. And Caroline was one of those runners that kind of kept her head when everybody around her was losing theirs and just plugged away and came home as the first South African runner. Okay, now we're moving on to the top three, and the third place and second place are not with us. They are both in the medical tent under some supervision. So I'm going to move straight on. Well, the third place was Alessia Nagalieva. The second place, Elena Nagalieva. But I'd like now to focus on the first South African woman home. She gets the Comrade Bowl from the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, the large gold medallion from the President of KwaZulu-Natal Athletics, the Katsita gold medal from Mr. Mike Totsetsi, the large cheque for 350,000 Rand from Mr. Peter Proctor, and the laurel wreath from Mr. Don du Toit. So that's what she gets. Congratulations, our winner, Ellie Greenwood from Canada, our first lady home today. A big round of applause. She ran fantastically well. She was second on the down run 2 years ago, and that is our lady winner, Ellie Greenwood.
Congratulations, Rosman. And from the people of South Africa, it was in the time to the people of Canada.
Thank you. This means so much.
Ellie Greenwood, second 2 years ago. She missed the race last year through injury. She came back stronger, fitter, a little bit wiser, and she stormed through. At one stage, she was 10 minutes behind the Nagalievas, but she plugged away and came through to take the first prize in the 2014 Comrades Marathon. Well done, Ellie Greenwood. Not sure how she can carry all that stuff. Quite a lot of baggage to get off that stage. And you see the Canadian flag there. Ellie Greenwood lives in Vancouver on the west coast of Canada. Okay, coming through to the top three in the men's competition. In the third place, he got another gold medal this year. He wins the McCulloch Trophy from the President of KwaZulu-Natal, the large bronze medallion from the President of KZN Athletics, the Katsita 1 ounce gold medal from the CEO of Katsita, and the large cheque for 130,000 Rand from the Vice Chairman of the Comrades Association, Mr. Peter Proctor. In the third place, from Samankor, Gift Kalehe. Come on, Gift. A small man with a big heart, big running ability. Well done, Gift Kalehe. Samankor, his 7th Comrades Marathon, 3rd place. So that is the McCulloch Trophy. He will now get the large bronze medallion from the President of KZN Athletics, Mr. McQuena, That's Don de Toy in between there, Zola Budd. Then the Kathsita gold medal from the CEO of Kathsita, Mr. Mike Tsotetsi. And finally, I suspect the one he looks forward to the most, the 130,000 Rand from Peter Proctor. Well done, give Calais a round of applause for the third place man home. Okay, in second place, the Anderson Trophy, the large silver medallion, the Kathsita 1 ounce gold medal, and the large cheque for 175,000 Rand. He won here 2 years ago. He was second this year. Congratulations, Ludwig Mamabolo. So the Anderson Trophy from the Premier. Ludwig gets the Anderson Trophy. He also gets from the president of KZN Athletics, Mr. Kwena, he gets the large silver medallion for finishing second. He gets the 1 ounce gold medal. You can work out the value of that. The gold price times 10 in Rand. And finally, the large cheque for 175,000 Rand from Mr. Peter Proctor. Now, fantastic performance by Ludwig. He looked so strong all the way through. He was the happiest man. He danced around, greeted the crowd, looked very, very strong at the finish. So 2 years ago he was number 1, and this year he's number 2. All right, moving on, ladies and gentlemen, to the man that crossed the line first this year. He gets the winner's trophy. There it is, beautiful trophy. The large gold medallion, the Kathsita 1 ounce gold medal, the large cheque for 350,000 Rand, and the laurel wreath. Ladies and gentlemen, our winner of the 89th Comrades Marathon from KwaZulu-Natal, Bongmusa Matembu. So the Premier gives over the winner's trophy. There's the laurel wreath, will be next. Okay, moving along. The laurel wreath from Mr. Don de Toy. The Kathsita gold medal from Mr. Tsotetsi, actually from Mr. beg your pardon, Zola Budd. From Mr. Mike Tsotetsi, the 1 ounce gold medal. And finally, the winner's cheque for 350,000 Rand from Peter Proctor. Ladies and gentlemen, finally, a big round of applause for the winner of the Comrades Marathon this year, Bongmusa Matembu from Nedbank, KwaZulu-Natal and South Africa. Thank you, that's us from the prize giving back to the commentators.
You know the moment. It comes when it wants, out of nowhere. When quit and keep going sit neck and neck. So you choose, and success conquers failure. Mind passes body. Finished becomes finish. This is the moment. It's why you run.
Welcome back to coverage of the 2014 Comrades Marathon. Well, it's been a wonderful day for South Africa in terms of the men's race, with a very worthy winner, Bongomuso Mtembu, the 30-year-old Nedbank athlete, coming home in 5:28.34, nearly 5 minutes ahead of former winner Ludwig Mamabolo, and third place South African Gift Kelehe of Samanko coming home. In the women's race, Ellie Greenwood ahead of the Nurgalieva twins, Elena and Olesia. And sitting alongside me is Dr. Ross Tucker. Both the Nurgalieva sisters, despite their vast experience in this race, ending up in the medical tent at the end of this race. Ross, why do you think with their experience would they end up pushing themselves to that limit and barely crossing the line? Let's just first pick up with Stephen Myers and his heart rate monitor, up to 9.4, so he's back running instead of walking, but with nearly 80 kilometres covered, a heart rate of 155.
Yeah, 10 to go for Stephen, so we've checked in on him a few times today, and that heart rate's been between 140 and 160 the whole way. I'm sure that's exactly what he's accustomed to, and he's going to finish this race. Bruce Fordyce mentioned earlier that he's actually using this as a training run, so there are some people, if you're watching this at home, that actually think of Comrades not as the long one, but actually as the preparation for the other long one, which they'll be doing.
That's a particularly interesting tactic to use, I suppose. Use one of the most grueling tests of human endurance. Just a reminder, if you do want to be a winner today, you have a chance to win a Toyota Corolla Quest if you enter the Toyota Amabidi Winner Car Competition. What you need to do is SMS the word Toyota to 34068. That's 34068. Bear in mind, SMSs do cost R1.50, but a chance to win a Toyota Corolla Quest. But Ross, just to go back to the issue of the medical tent and pushing yourself to the very, very limit. Very strange to see the Nurgalieva twins struggling the way they did in today's race. We know Olesia has withdrawn once before, but in terms of the way they finished, I've never seen them look quite as exhausted as they were at the finish line today.
Yeah, they paid for a very aggressive start, and I was actually just looking at some of the splits. You know, they were at halfway, 4 minutes ahead of Greenwood, and then at 59k, they'd opened that lead to 8 minutes, and so they were very aggressive in the middle, sort of third quarter of that race, and I think they paid for it in a big way at the end, and I think that's probably the reason they were in the tent. I remember being in the medical tent to do research a few years back, and there are many reasons an athlete goes to the tent. Most of the time it's quite innocuous. That's not to trivialize why they're there, it's just that they've run 89k, they're out on their feet. Sometimes serious. Let's hope that that's not what happened with those two Russian champions.
A couple of very cheerful-looking lads coming home. One thing about the Comrades Marathon is it doesn't matter whether you run for different clubs. There are some friendships that are made out on the course, and they genuinely last a lifetime. A couple of athletes helping each other across the finish line, wigs and all. Some interesting characters as well. I wonder if we're going to see any more causes being run for. I think last year, was it the chap who finished it in the rhino costume, trying to highlight the rhino poaching plague that has hit South Africa in recent years. Well, from the finish line, let's head to Valen Kirtley back in studio for just a moment. She's got a special guest today.
Thank you very much, Dwayne. I certainly have. I've got the CEO of Bonitas, Dr. Bobby Ramasio, who's come to join me inside the studio. Now, the Comrades Marathon is a year-long event that the Comrades Marathon Association tirelessly work behind to be able to put on this race day absolutely every single year. And they've got 4 main title sponsors, amongst them Nedbank, Flora, Cathsita, and then, of course, Bonitas. And just recently, Bonitas announced that they would be partnering this race right up until 2016. So it's great to be having you in studio, Dr. Ramasia, just to chat a little bit about your partnership with this iconic race and just how important it is, perhaps for a brand like Bonitas.
Thank you, Valen. I must say, for Bonitas, to us being behind Comrades Marathon, it tells you a story that we are a medical fund. We're making sure that we are supporting our members and South Africans at large to make sure that they lead a healthy lifestyle by participating in any kind of physical activity. That's why we're fully behind Comrades Marathon.
And you will be right up until 2016, so it's obviously been a very fruitful partnership.
Oh yes, the next 2 years we intending to make sure that we add some value add, we do some innovative things, and make sure that we actually make the best out of this partnership with Comrades. And I'm sure our members there of Bonitas, they are also going to ensure that they partner with us in ensuring that we encourage a physical activity and healthy lifestyles.
Now, you've been involved with the Comrades race now going on 10 years. Have they promised you a green number?
Well, we're having discussions with them with regard to that, and I think we deserve it. This partnership, it has been very valuable to us because we have actually realized that for those people that actually carry the message of Comrades Marathon, they actually reduce our healthcare costs in terms of they reduce their cholesterol, their blood sugar levels goes down, those ones that are diabetic, and some of them who actually take physical activity very seriously, they actually end up being weaned off from their treatment of diabetes, or even their strength of their diabetes get reduced.
Dr. Ramasea, you are a general practitioner. So, I mean, as much as being the CEO, you come from a medical background. Is Comrades 89 kilometers, is it healthy for somebody's body?
Oh yes, like any physical activity, the benefits much outweighs the slight mishaps or injuries that one might sustain from it. Obviously, as a medical doctor, I encourage people to participate in sports and to make sure that they actually involve themselves in any activity that takes them out of their comfort of their sofa to be able to, because if you've got a healthy body, you end up being a healthy mind and you become a productive citizen for the country as a whole.
I want to ask something now about the rebranding that Bonitas went under in October last year, because you guys look very, very different from those 3 blocks. I remember it's now become this beautiful cursive lettering of Bonitas with the red background. What was behind that?
Well, obviously, red, it means it talks to your heart, and because the symbol heart, it means somebody who's close with their members, because in Bonitas we've been around for more than 30 years, and that's how we actually want to demonstrate for those loyal members of Bonitas that we are with you, supporting your life through and through, so that whenever you've got any challenges that pertains to your health issues, we are there to pay your health costs. We are there to ensure that all your claims are paid within 30 months. And also our partnership with our other stakeholders, which are the doctors there, who are the most important people in our delivery of health care.
A lot of people watching the Comrades Marathon will know Bonitas, or perhaps maybe one of their very first moments that they were exposed to the brand of Bonitas was perhaps even on a running vest coming from a running circle, because you guys used to have an elite running club. What's happened to that and why?
Well, we decided to actually review how we want to value add people that participate in athletics, and having just a club which is a number of people being participating in physical activity, we felt that we are actually limiting our scope to benefit our overall members out there. So now the intention is that we want to spread that message of physical activity, spreading through the brand of Comrades Marathon, and therefore that doesn't mean we might not revisit the issue of having Bonitas Athletics Club. When it comes at that particular time with my board, it might come up in a certain different format than the one that we had previously.
Now, I know you were sitting here, you and I both, as we watched that prize giving, and we were just exchanging comments about how proud we are that the top 3 men in that took the gold in the men's race are all South African, headed up by a local man, Bongomusa Mtembu. How proud are you of that South African, how well the South African men have participated in this race?
I think those 3 South Africans have actually made us proud that we are celebrating 20 years of democracy, and that actually was the the cream on top, say that even to our members, they make them actually feel proud being South Africans, that as South Africans, as citizenship of the world out there, we are world achievers. And I think those three citizens that demonstrated that winning spirit, that they actually can pass it on into our fellow South Africans. We are a winning country. Make sure that you become productive, make sure that you are healthy, make sure that you do your little bit to ensure that South Africa becomes a successful country like those three citizens.
All right, so Dr. Bobby Ramasea, the CEO of Vanisys, thank you very much for being inside our SABC Sport studios. I chatted a little bit earlier on about the fact that we are in the country celebrating our 20 years of democracy. Now, you have to be 20 years old in order just to compete in the Comrades Marathon. So for the very first time, we have a couple of born-frees that will also be completing their very first Comrades Marathon. Certainly something to celebrate in 2014. Let's go down to Kwena Mabelo, who is standing at the finish line, and see which athletes he is chatting to. Of course, they are undoubtedly elated that they have finally reached the finish line. Just a time check for you guys. We're going on at 2 o'clock, and that means that we've got half an hour before the cutoff of the Bill Rowan medals. Now, you can only achieve a Bill Rowan medal, or rather, you can only be awarded a Bill Rowan medal if you complete this 89.28 kilometer distance in a total of 9 hours. If you come across that finish line 9:05, then you are in the bronze medal takings right up until the 11-hour cutoff. So there's half an hour left for those people that are aiming to complete within those 9 hours and be awarded that Bill Rowan medal. Now, I believe Kwena Mabelo, we will be crossing to him a little bit later on, but let's go back to Dwayne Jalaka, who is inside the commentary booth.
And watching a host of runners continue to stream over the finish line. Thank you very much, Valen Kirtley. It's something that you may well remember Valen Kirtley has done on a couple of occasions as well. She's not only presented this race. Ross, you look at the visuals that we're seeing now, and this is, I suppose, what the Comrades Marathon is all about. You generally see this the longer the race progresses, but the conditions today have been a bit brutal. 31 degrees Celsius, very humid down at the finish line. I would hate to be out on the course, to be honest.
Yeah, not ideal, but certainly we've had more difficult, challenging days. Even at Comrades last year, I think, was even more challenging than this. What we're seeing here now is a man who's being helped to the finish line by his fellow runners. Now, that is something that I think epitomizes the Comrades, but from a medical, scientific point of view, it's actually something the race tries to discourage, because the point where you can no longer move forward on your own steam is the point where you probably need medical support, not to be assisted by other runners like this. So hopefully this gentleman can get to the finish line and then get the medical support that he needs, and there's nothing too serious that is wrong with him. But never obviously good to see this, as much as we are inspired by the courage of these athletes in this situation.
Only a few hundred meters to go now as he is entering the stadium, and I think it's simply a case of he's come so far and he's so close now. But Arno Malherbe will be joining us in a short while, and as we continue to see athletes coming home. But let's take a look now at some of the charitable organizations and initiatives, and we've got something for you on the Starfish Foundation.
This is a common view across the vast expanse of South Africa. Unfortunately, another situation we see far too often are the vulnerable of the country left ashore without a helping hand. Organizations have stepped in, and with the support of individuals and NGOs like Starfish, the hope of a better life remains. Starfish supports children orphaned or vulnerable in South Africa by working in partnership with community-based organizations. They do much more than just raise and distribute funds to different organizations. They have ongoing programs.
Starfish, we identify community-based organizations that are working with children, especially orphan and vulnerable children. And we develop a partnership with those CBOs. So also we provide training for them. A number of trainings in different ways. We provide health trainings about HPC, financial training, so we capacitate them. The volunteers are coming from the community. In most cases, you find one person in a community found a community-based organization, and then we'll identify people that have interest in working with that person, that have a passion to assist the community. They often are being identified in many different ways. The CBOs or community-based organizations are working with schools, are working with communities, are working with social workers.
Starfish currently support over 16,000 children, but more needs to be done. Approximately 21% of the country's 18.5 million children are affected by HIV, with over 2 million children left orphaned or vulnerable. 60% of children are living in poverty, and 7 out of 10 child deaths are attributed to preventable illnesses.
For us as Starfish, we are looking at 3 things. We are looking at bringing hope, life and opportunity to every OVC in South Africa, to every child in South Africa.
Where daily balanced meal is scarce, medical service is a luxury. The Starfish Wellness Wagon program promotes the physical, mental and social well-being of children by providing access to healthcare services, food and nutrition. Being part of the official charities of Comrades helps keep the wheels moving on the mobile clinic.
We are grateful for the runners that they run for us as Starfish, so it's very good. We are so happy that there are people that they still take care of our kids, they still take care of South Africa, they still care of people that are going to be the leaders of tomorrow.
No matter how many starfish are washed onto shore, helping one is better than no help at all.
Wonderful initiative, the Starfish Great Hearts Foundation, aiming to, of course, provide great opportunities for children who've been orphaned or made vulnerable by HIV/AIDS in South Africa. Again, just over the 80-kilometre mark now, so well and truly approaching the finish as he comes to the final little bump in the road, so to speak, ahead of the finish effectively. 53-year-old Stephen Myers running with a heart rate monitor down to 148 and a speed of 7.5, just faster than walking pace, Ross Tucker, but he's finishing this race strongly enough.
Yeah, if that's 80k, and assuming that stat is live in real time, then that means he's got an 8k to go, so we'll give him another maximum an hour and he'll finish the race, and then he can put his feet up and that heart rate will drop for the first time in 8.5 hours. It's been around this 140 to 150 mark the whole way, which I suspect for a man at 53 is a comfortable, strenuous effort.
And speaking of strenuous efforts, I think this is a real problem. This is a runner that we saw being helped by the other athletes just after just before entering the stadium. He wants to cross the finish line himself on his own steam, and he's getting great applause as well by those, and encouragement and support from those gathered to watch the finishing runners. But he is going to go straight to the medical tent, no doubt.
Yeah, so what they'll do now, the medical staff are there to meet him on the line, and they'll triage him. They'll assess exactly what might be up. I mean, there's a number of things: blood pressure, hypoglycemia when the blood sugar falls, muscle cramp, hopefully nothing more serious. There are heart problems that could also explain this kind of collapse, so hopefully nothing like that. They'll assess him and then make the call about how to manage him medically. That's Leon van Moerkerken, and hopefully he will be up on his feet and celebrating this inspirational finish shortly.
So Leon van Moerkerken, the man who's being placed on the stretcher, but he crossed the finish line on his own steam. That helped by fellow athletes to get to that finishing line. Athletes continue to stream home now, although the bulk of the athletes will finish in the final hour of this 2014 race, as is customary, it seems. Some runners just want to finish in the allotted time. If you say 11 hours, they'll go for 11 hours. But now, let's head down to one of the more difficult places to overcome. Not huge in terms of hill, but when you combine it with the descent of Fields Hill, the flat section of a Pinetown, certainly Kawi's Hill is proving to be a quite formidable challenge for runners in this year's down run, especially when you combine the elements with the endurance of this race. And Minnie Dlamini is standing by and hopefully trying to catch a few words from a few athletes.
Zani, and I just wanted to know, you've got a very interesting backpack behind you. Why are you running with that behind you?
It's got my supplements, got a Powerade inside there.
So it's just your backpack with all your stuff?
Yes.
All your goodness?
Everything. The Powerade, and even my vest and so on.
Cool, keep it up.
Make it myself to be safe too.
Go for it. You're still looking strong.
Thank you very much.
Keep it up.
I'll be in Durban just now.
17 Ks to go.
Definitely. I'm going there.
Unjani butama uzinza unjani?
Angizizwa ngisharp yazi. Hey, this year ngirana kwesithu manje hey. This year ngathi tough. Hayi tough kancane but ngiyayifinisha.
What do you want to say to the viewers at home?
Ngifuna ukuthi kubo ngifuna basijoyine nabo babe fit njengathi. Sharp.
Hambe kahle ke butama. Oh, George.
Hello.
I interviewed George this morning. Zansi, now he's here. He said he was running in support of cancer. Still feeling good, feeling strong?
Yes, I'm still feeling strong, but I've got a little bit of cramps.
It's fine.
But I'll conquer them because it's nearly 17 Ks to go.
17 Ks to go, but
I will make it.
Ufuna ukuthini abantu basekhaya?
No, bangaphela inhliziyo ngizongena manje stadium, bazongibona mangena manje stadium. So they must be patient with me because I'm now nearly to go to the stadium. So they must cheer for me when I'm enter the stadium.
All the best, George. He's doing it for cancer, Mzansi. Gotta love his passion. Keep it going.
KEPSITA, Sustainable People Development for Prosperity through partnerships with business, communities, and government.
Parmalat, South Africa's #1 cheese slice.
Parmalat. As we raise the skills of South Africans, we move to a more prosperous tomorrow. For over 12 years, KEPSITA has contributed to raising skills in the tourism and travel, hospitality, conservation, sports, recreation and fitness, arts and culture and heritage, and gaming lotteries sector through the partnership with business, communities, and government. KEPSITA, Sustainable People Development for Prosperity.
We're back with the live action, and the runners coming in now in the dozens, if not the scores, if not the hundreds, into that Toyota section of the course. This is in the last kilometre or so, just outside the Kingsmead Stadium, and this is the part of the afternoon when the runners come in. It's gone the silver medal. It's coming up for the 9-hour cut-off, but I don't know, plenty of time before the Bull Rowan cut-off.
Ja, nog so wat 20 minute voor die Bull Rowan afsnypunt. Natuurlijk vernoemd naar Bull Rowan, die eerste wenner van die Comrades Marathon in 1921. En hy het dit afgelê in 'n tyd van 8 ure en 59 minute. En dit is hoekom die 9 ure afsnypunt na Bull Rowan vernoem is.
Konsevela jalo Arno Khamago le Ian Khamago go leng ka teng re se ba tabogi ba fano mo ba tsamaile jalo di ura di le robedi me re ntse re lebeletse jalo ba ntse ba tsena jalo mo le baleng go tla go konosetsa jalo lebelo le me ke sengwe se se khatlisang le tota ke lebeletse jalo segolo se tonna jalo bontsi jwa ba batlang ko morago ba ke bone ba dirang gore go nne monate ka ntla go goeletsa le go tsholetsa diatla tsa bone me tseno tsotlhe ba di dira jalo ba lebeletse gore ba jetse batho ba ba fa monate fela mo di ura tse robedi tse ba setseng ba tabogile re le mo di ura di le robedi le metsotso e le some a mararo le borobongwe Ian.
Well, down on the finish line below us there on the grass is Quena. Let's see what he's got to do for us.
Well, thank you very much. I'm here with Bianca and Alpheus. Bianca, the guys were supporting you, waiting for you. This is your first one. How did it feel?
This was hard, but it is so amazing. So amazing, and I did it.
What stood out for you throughout the 89 kilometers that you were running?
The whole support of the people all along the road. It's just amazing. Everybody supports. It's absolutely amazing.
And I'm sure Alpheus, with a little bit of experience, did help some way.
Yeah, I did, even though I was like tired. She was the one who was doing all the work.
So it was a team effort.
It was the last bit. If it wasn't for Alpheus, we would not be here.
Well, congratulations. You can go and get your medals now. That's Alpheus and Bianca, and that is totally the spirit of Comrades Marathon, the support that you have, relative strangers just coming together to make sure that they push each other to the finish line. We'll be talking to some of them as they're trickling in, and also waiting for the final people to come in. 20 minutes to go now before the final Bill Rowan medal, and just around that time, we will talk to the last person to make to the cutoff. Back to the commentators.
Well, thank you, Quen. Lovely stuff there. Runner from Florida, another one from Diepkloof in Soweto. Amongst the biggest clubs in the country, we've seen many Nedbank runners. Not only the guys at the front with both winners in the men and women's race, but runners from all over the country in the various Nedbank clubs. And in fact, the second biggest club in the country is a Nedbank club from Central Gauteng. So that's good stuff. Nedbank doing their thing right the way through the field, and a couple of guys doing a bit of skipping. Clearly they haven't used up enough energy yet.
Bernard Hendricks daar van Kimberley, wat nog baie energie het hier naby aan die einde van sy wedloop, en lyk of hy ook gelukkig is dat hy hierdie wedloop gaan klaarmaak.
re tumella jalo Bennett jaaka re mmone go tswa jalo kwa Kimberley ana tlola jalo go bontsha gore o setsa ntse itekanetse go raka taboga lebelelo a le kono setsa mme ke sengwe sa se ke tswatsang go bua ka sone ke re it's interesting gore go tla matsebakeng se batabogi ba botle jano e be le gore fela ba taboga ba itumella gore ba kono setsa lebelo le mme ka moggo go leng ka teng go a bonala gore le batho ba ba setseng ba le fa ba rotloetsa jalo gore batle ba fitlhe jalo nako e setse le teng lebele jalo kwa ura di le robongwe tsa lebelo leno la Comrades.
Just a minute or two ago, we saw a gentleman running fast with C on his number. That's the batch. If you look at the race numbers, you'll see a figure, a letter, in fact, in front of the number, and that's the batch they're in. And the C batch, in fact, is a very special batch. It is the Stephen Myers. Let's just get back to that C batch story in a minute. But Stephen Myers now is heart rate up to 147. And where is Stephen? Right near the end there, just before, I think that's 45th cutting, I would say.
Yeah, about 7 kilometers to go for Stephen Myers there. Heart rate, as Ross Tucker said, still pretty steady there, 152. And he's still shuffling along just faster than walking pace there at 7.8 kilometers per hour.
Yeah, 82 Ks. That's around about, 7 Ks to go. We're just getting back to that number, and the digit on the number, that C, stands for C batch, and that batch is the ones that have raised 5,000 Rand for charity. So each and every runner with a C on his number has raised 5,000 Rand for the charity, and there are well over 100. I think they've raised more than 2 million Rand between them for Amabidi Bidi. So that is really absolutely superb. Well, there's Alan Robb. If you look back, the red cap just on the left of the screen, running in his Germiston Kelly's colours with Alan written on it, just off behind the man from the Rand Athletic Club. We'll see Alan Robb coming around with his red cap and his red socks, looking way, way better than he did last year. Alan Robb, there he comes. Race number 41, one of the icons of the race, 4 times winner, 12 times gold medals. There's Alan Robb. He's running this year, he's smiling this year, and I'm so happy for Alan that he managed to get a finish, and he's going to finish his 41st Comrades Marathon. Well done, Alan.
Alan Robb, een van die legendes van die Comrades wat hier klaar maak, en daar sy met die rooi keppie op. En Alan Robb, sy 41ste Comrades wat hy klaarmaak, net hier oor 8 ure en 42 minute. Hy kry 'n Bill Rowan medalje. Kom ons gaan na Kwena wat met Alan Robb gesels.
Well, I'm here with Alan Robb, a legend in his own right. Alan, how did it go today? You going for your 41st Comrades Marathon?
Yeah, I had a very nice run, better than I expected. The weather, thank goodness, was a lot better than last year. And I just ran better than I thought I would. And Yeah, 41 down.
What keeps you coming back, Alan?
I enjoy just the whole atmosphere. The spectators along the route are fantastic, and I just really enjoyed the race.
Well, congratulations on another one. That's Alan Robb, a legend in his own right, and as you can see, going quite strong. Definitely at this point, people trickling in, but we're going back 17 kilometers back where Mini Dlamini is standing by with more runners that are coming this way.
I had to stop and speak to these two runners. Given you're looking like you're struggling, my man. How are you?
I'm okay, and you?
Get right. What's wrong?
Yeah. No, it's going according to plan so far, but I just hope my legs carries me until the end. So
just keep it going. Don't stop, and I think you'll be fine.
Thank you so much.
Keep it going.
Looking good too.
Now, Abel has run 10 Comrades marathons. Today is his 11th. You've got to tell me what's going on with the outfit.
I like to entertain people because I'm running for fun. I'm not running for prize. I'm too old to run for prize.
Hello. So are you feeling good? Are you feeling good for your 11th Comrades marathon?
Feeling very good. I will do 20 push-ups when I finish the Comrade. Always I do that.
I know.
Yeah.
Lastly, what would you tell someone who's never run the Comrades marathon? Yindaba ukuthi afike la athi namhlanje ngizoyenza iComrades.
Yeah.
For next year, okay?
Sengivele sengifaka abantu abaningi ukuthi babuye batogijima iComrade marathon because bangibona ngi-exercise bese babuya batocela ukuthi ngibatraine. Ngitrain abantu abaningi, more than 30 webantu abatrainako bagijima iComrade.
Okay, Abel, we don't want to hold you up. Keep it going. We look forward to your 20 push-ups at the end.
You know what? Yeah. Thank you very much.
Shut.
Kabelo Mabalani with me here. Comrades number 8, Kabelo. How was this one? Was it any different from the 7 that you've done before?
You know, I haven't done a down run in, I think, 3 years. So I forgot completely how it feels, but it was very difficult.
No taba, because Lenak at the down run because Katab.
Well, it's not during the kids. I guess that year there were a few commitments I was busy with, and this year I came, but it was difficult. It was very difficult.
I saw you at Drummond looking quite strong coming through. What happened? Because at halfway you looked like you were on target for at least better in your 8:13.
Yeah, I was definitely on target, but running downhill the whole day is taxing. It's really taxing. I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board, strengthen the legs, but you know, when you miss your goal, you just appreciate to finish.
Now, Kabelo, I was just speaking to Alan Robb, the man who was running his 41st marathon, and I asked him, what keeps you guys coming back? What is it that says, go back another day, take that punishment?
This feeling right now. You see when you come and run and see that clock, that's what keeps me coming back. I mean, the Comrades Marathon is a South African institution, and I always say, every South African must run Comrades at least once in their lives.
And the weather behaved this year, didn't it?
The weather was good. They were predicting 24 to 27, but we ran under the clouds the whole day. The sun was under the clouds the whole day, so it behaved.
Congratulations, Kabelo.
Thank you, sir.
Kabelo Mabalani there going for his 8th medal, making sure that he gets that Bill Rowan medal. We take a short break. When we come back, our commentators will take us through as more runners are coming through.
CETA, Sustainable People Development for Prosperity through partnerships with business, communities, and government.
In January 2014, Flora took over the small town of Villiersdorp with one goal in mind: to lower the town's cholesterol in just 21 days. 164 residents who discovered they had elevated cholesterol levels took up the Flora Challenge and were supported one-on-one by the Flora team. The Flora Cholesterol Challenge and the residents of Villiersdorp have more than shown us how by supporting each other, we really can make a difference to our own lives. The results speak for themselves. 96% of participants reduced their cholesterol, and the average cholesterol level of the town decreased by 24% in only 21 days. Thank you, Villiersdorp. We are inspired.
It seems like absolute ages since the leaders went over Kawi's Hill, but there are still runners pouring through that neck of the woods at the end of the Poundtown Flats. A big climb. And I think, Anna, you'll find that most of the guys and girls at this stage are walking up the hill because it really is a challenge. Kawi's Hill is a big climb. You go storming down Fields Hill, your legs are mashed at the bottom. Then you go the ups and downs through Pinetown, so-called Poundtown Flats. And then, boy, ahead of you is that hill. 366 meters above sea level. And that is the site there, so you can see how high it is.
Atlete wat daardeur Kawi stap natuurlik van hier af redelike groot afdraande in Durban in en meeste van die atlete wat nou hulle wedloop geniet. Kom ons gaan na Minnie toe wat op Kawi's hiel staan, sy praat met 'n paar van die atlete.
We are still at Kawi's Hill and the runners are still looking good, still looking like they have a lot of energy. 3 of which, you guys are still looking good. How are you feeling?
Feeling top of the world.
What do you want to say to the viewers at home about the Comrades Marathon?
Ek wil net vir my kinders by die huis sê, Karina en Kabous, ek mis julle, lief vir julle, dankie vir alles.
For your third Comrades Marathon, how has it been? Has it been easier or more difficult compared to the last one?
It is much easier because I have experience. I'm running today to honor the birthday of my daughter Bosa. My name is Khositi Lebareki from the Northwest.
So go look into the camera and say happy birthday to your daughter.
Happy birthday, Bosa, my daughter. Thank you, Palisa, my wife. My mother, Kibonyi. Thank you. Bye-bye.
And Daddy will be coming home with a medal. So how are you feeling about this Comrades Marathon and compared to the others that you've run?
This one is the best. It's hot, but nice. It's nice. And this one I'm doing it for my wife. She had a very heavy ordeal in this year. This one I'm doing for her.
Such beautiful stories. Thank you so much. Hey, man. I'm good. How are you?
Every week, huh?
What's your name?
Richard.
Richard, what's up with the costume?
We raise money for kids with cancer, for CHOC.
And so, is this what your run is dedicated to today?
It's all about fighting kids with cancer, huh?
Okay, and lastly, what do you want to say to the viewers who have never run the Comrades Marathon and why they should run?
Stop, suck it up, princess. Get off the couch and start running.
Suck it up, princess. We'll see you later. Thanks for running for a good cause. Nisizwe ninjani?
Sikhona linjani?
Siyaphila. 14 Comrades Marathon.
40, yeah.
14. Bogus useli number. How are you feeling, Baron?
I'm right.
You feeling good?
Yeah, manje family yami nayo ibe right. Umama alungise into zamgiyeza lapha ekhaya.
Musuf
church la eBinoni. Guys, it's for you.
This is for my daughter and son, Khalalelo and Litabo. You guys are great.
When you get home, what is it that you want to receive from your family?
Well, a warm welcome and a very congratulations. I think my wife is also looking at me right now, and my little girl and my daughter. Thanks very much.
Have a good race. How are you feeling, man?
Oh, just want to finish.
You just want to look. You're just by the finish line. It's really not that long. Keep going. You're going to be good.
Thank you.
Lastly, do you want to make a shout out to anyone at home?
Shout out to my husband and daughter and son. Love you.
How are you feeling, Craig?
Strong, man.
Craig, I can see it now. You're walking with pride. The chest is out. Feeling good?
Very much. Very good. Very good.
This is your first Comrades and you're looking really good.
Believe it or not.
How many more do you still want to do before you're done?
0.
First and last?
Last one. Thank you very much. Good shout out to my wife, Ellie, and my kids. Bye.
What's up?
How are you?
You're not even sweating. Eh?
Looking good.
Oh, we've got twins. You guys are so cute.
You're looking good. Thank you.
Well, how many? So this is the first time you guys are right. Second time.
The first.
Keep going.
And I'm happy. I'm enjoying it. I want to enjoy even the pain of the Comrades. Yeah.
Keep going. Go get your medal, bud. Unjani?
Ngikona njani?
Ufuna ukuthini ngabantu basekhaya?
Abantu basekhaya iweather yinhle kumnandi siyehla siqeda sesifikile eThekwini.
Sharp. Hambe kahle. Sharp.
Molweni ecaweni yami holy name Paul Sangcwele mole mama Grahamstown Motherwell. Ndibaleka kakuhle imozulu inhle ukufa Aspen. Thank you.
How are you feeling about the Comrades?
Hey, I'm feeling tired, but I'm running for my mother. I lost my mother for a few months.
Our condolences.
Yeah, I say my mother, rest in peace.
Cool, man. How are you feeling?
I'm tired, but we'll finish.
We're going to finish, right?
Yeah, it's a lovely race.
Go get your medal. There we go. It is absolutely awesome. The vibe's amazing. Everyone is coming up because they actually just want to be on TV. It's not even just about finishing. It's about having a good time and making sure they say a little hi to mommy and daddy or wife or girlfriend. Right now, though, it's time for us to go back to studio. We'll see you in a bit live from Kawi's Hill.
Thank you, Minnie, and welcome back to the finish. This is the Bill Rowan bus. The bus is led by a so-called bus driver, the man that sets the pace up front with that little flag coming out of the back of his backpack. Man with a gold vest running, and this is the Bill Rowan bus. They've been together since 5:30 this morning. They're aiming for the sub 9 hour cutoff. It's 8:55 coming up. They're going to make it with about 3 minutes to spare. Perfect timing, and that's a huge group. These buses are very, very effective in getting the guys there on their time.
Die busdrywer daar, Johan van Tonder, wat die atlete hier na die eindstreep toe lei. Dis sy 13de Comrades, reeds 12 medaljes verlede jaar op die ophardloop het hy 'n brons gekry, 9 ure 7 minute. En hier gaan hy vir die Bill Rowan. 2009 het hy wel Bill Rowan medaljes gekry, so hy weet presies watter pas om hierdie bus deur te vat. En daar kan ons sien Johan van Tonder en die ander atlete wat net hier onder die 9 ure wil eindig.
Bill Rowan medal, a very, very popular medal for the average club run-up. To break 9 hours is a great achievement, so well done to them. And it's going to be a big crowd, maybe 40 or 50 strong, that's going to storm over the finish line. Just to let you know that Leonard Svetsov ran the race. He finished in 8 hours 26. The double record holder was out there. He was here for the Legends dinner. And interestingly, the night before the Legends dinner, Leonard Svetsov's wife back in Russia presented him with his 5th baby. He was not sure whether he should come out, but she said to him, no, go and get your Legends award and go and run the thing. So he also got a Bill Rowan medal. It's let's take nothing away from Johan van Tonder and the guys and girls finishing in that Bill Rowan bus. About 4 minutes to spare. What a sight.
Khonse fela jalo re sala ka metsotso e ka nna mene fela gore Bill Rowan medal e kgaolwe me selo se le go diragala fela so mararo morago ga ura ya bobedi seo se ra gore jano lebelo le fa sa le mo mosong wa letsatsi la gompieno le tla boletsa mele jalo di ura di le robongwe banna ba bantse ba le motseleng me re lebeletse ka mogogo leng ka teng me ba setse ba fitlhile jalo ba tsholetsa matsogo a bone ba itumella gore ba tlile le setlhopa tota me ba feta jalo mo moleng wa phenyo me go setse fela metsotso e ka nna mebedi so mararo morago ga ura bobedi go tla bo go kgaolwa jalo Bill Rowan medal me
Well, certain people have got plenty of energy left. The Bill Rowan medal is just such a good innovation introduced back in the year 2000. And that's an unofficial little guy running with his dad, somebody from RAC or somebody from somewhere. I wonder if anybody's going to take ownership of that little look.
I was going to say, he's a bit young to run the Comrades. Die 20 jaar wat jy oud moet wees om in die wedloop deel te neem. Maar hy wat net die laaste paar meter hier saam met sy pa of iemand ook al doen, wag daar vir die mense wat hy ken. En so lekker om hierdie op die einde te sien, lyk dan sy pa daar 4-6-6-6.
Ka gongwe mo dingwageng tse some a mabedi tse di tlang 20 years time mosimane o tla ba taboga mo lone lebelo le a ba le fenya re be re makala go rotswa kae nte o simolotse teng fela fa a taboga re mona o monnye mekio wa bona la gore o tla taboga mo go lone lebelo mo isagweng.
I wonder if they're going to give him a Bill Rowan medal. They'll give him an honorary Bill Rowan medal. Maybe in 20 years' time he can come back and get a real Bill Rowan medal. So a couple of minutes to go, now 2.5 minutes to go to the Bill Rowan cutoff. So for those guys on the track are quite confident, but if you're outside the stadium, it's going to be a bit of a stretch. And it may not be as dramatic as the final cutoff. It'll be pretty dramatic. Quena has our man who did the push-ups on the finish line.
All right, I'm standing here with Abel. Abel, you just came in and you did some push-ups. How many did you do?
20.
Why do you do 20 push-ups?
I'm entertaining people to run Comrade because Comrade, they think that is a killer. If you have trained, I didn't train this time for Comrade because I had an injury. I was just taking it easy. Usually I run for silver. But today I didn't run for silver. I was just talking on the road.
And you just made it just under for that Bill Rowan, your 11th Comrades Marathon. Congratulations. How does it feel?
I feel great.
Right, congratulations, Abel.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's Abel, and he's just came in, had some push-ups, 20 of them, but we're just 2 minutes away from that cutoff for that beautiful medal that is silver and bronze in one. So a minute to go. We're watching that clock very closely.
Jane Cardwell. Now, this is what we said about these cut-offs. It becomes very, very difficult when your legs literally give in on the grass. And she now has 1 minute to go. And it's quite a long way. She's not in the final straight yet. It's around the back of maybe 100, 150 meters to go. And the idea is that you're not really allowed to carry you. You can assist. And the man from Nedbank also is at risk of not getting his Bill Rowan. Watch that clock, 59:20. I think they're going to make it. She really has to be on her feet. And this is the spirit of the Comrades Marathon. They are going to make it now. And I suspect that without the help there, that lady may not have got her Bill Rowan medal.
Jane Cardwell daar hier in haar eerste Comrades. En sy is 30 jaar oud van Durban High School Old Boys Club. En sy maak het net oor die lyn vir haar Bill Rowan medalje. Ons kyk daar agter haar na die eerste atleet wat dit dalk nie gaan maak nie. 10 sekondes om te gaan voor die Bill Rowan afsnypunt.
Gontse fela jalo re bala di sekondo fela di ka nna tharo di ka nna pedi e le nngwe jaanong sethunya se be se lela gore kgang jalo na ikutla teng fela fa Bill Rowan medals di kgaolwa teng fela fa morago ga di ura di le robongwe se se ra gore jaanong ba ba ka tlang kwa morago ba setse ba tla taboga fela di medal tse di tswaletswe jaanong.
Well, that's a yellow number, and I'm not sure if he made it or didn't make it, actually. It's a foreign runner, and Quen is down on the finish line.
All right, well, I'm standing here with Enver. Enver, you were actually the last person to make it. You sprinted through. How does it feel to get that last medal, that last place?
It's unbelievable, eh? I just gave it my best and trusted in my mind.
And I mean, what sort of preparation did you have to go through? This is your second Comrades Marathon.
Nothing. I'm a television director, so you know our times. I've hardly trained.
Well, congratulations.
Thanks.
Right, that's Enver, literally the last person to come through for that Bill Rowan medal. So the next people that will be coming in, I've seen some of them just falling before the line, did not make it, and that is the Comrades Marathon, because every second does count. Back to commentators.
Well, earlier on today we talked about 19,000 entries. Well, 14,620 people started, and 23 of them were under 6 hours. So we had 13 Wally Hayward medals, and 527 were silver medals under 7.5 hours. That is a very good performance this year. So the times this year are a lot more normal, shall we say, than they were last year. But still, a lot of people actually that entered didn't line up. So a couple more tweets coming in. All the guys that are running, remember that you can only run your own race. Be strong. And there are plenty of people out there. Well, the first tiers of the Comrades 2014 have started. I guess we saw them pretty much early this morning. And Zanab Gameldian says hair-raising stuff when runners call over the finish line. Certainly is.
Safa goal there. What a moment to see two athletes helping their fellow athlete, and we've seen quite a few of that. Also athletes trying to get in there for that Bill Rowan cutoff and carry it over to the finish line there.
Lebella jalo gape Twitter go tswa go le se kgaolelo what le Zaid Muller are so proud of everyone just taking part in the Comrade 2014. You guys are awesome. Congrats. You guys are amazing accomplishment. Ke ka mokgo go leng ka teng ke ngwetsa di Twitter tse dintsi di tsena ka kwano me re lebeletse jalo batabogi ba rona ba simolla go iketla jalo ba bone ba taboga fela go itse sa monate le go konosetsa lebelo ba itse gore fa ba dira jana ga gona metlele ope o le motafoleng o ba ka o bonang me se ba itumelang sone ke gore e nna karolo ya lebelo le ibile ba nna le seabe mo go lone ba le rata le mongwageng o go tlang ba ka go bolela gore re tla bo re le teng fa re tle go taboga.
Look at that, thousands of runners still out on the road. The Bill Rowan medal has gone, less than 3 hours to go to the end of the Comrades Marathon. We'll be back after this.
Imagine if you could laser renew your skin. A scientific breakthrough, Revitalift Laser Renew by L'Oreal Paris. Highly concentrated with 3% Proxylane for triple action. 1. Refine skin. 2. Replumps. 3 reaffirms. And now South Africa's #1 anti-aging brand brings you Laser Renew Night with Centella Asiatica to release powerful actives while you sleep. Revitalift Laser Renew by L'Oreal Paris.
We're worth it.
Get the new Corolla Quest 1.6 from only 174,900.
Parmalat, South Africa's #1 cheese slice.
Parmalat.
Well, down to the Nedbank Green Mile we go, and this is an interesting section of the race in terms of Nedbank Green Mile. This is a spectator spot that is actually award-winning, you might call it. It actually won the Discovery Sports Industry Award, I think it was back in January, for the best live sporting experience. And when you consider that it was up against some of the top other live sporting events, it was quite an accomplishment for the Nedbank Green Mile. Always entertaining, though. Loads of entertainment, singers, songs, lots of singing, pom-pom girls, or as Arno might call it, the rara meisies and their pom-poms out and encouraging runners to continue on down the stretch. At the Green Mile, I'm just trying to, about 25 odd kilometres, I think, left in the race at the Nedbank Green Mile. But a great initiative that's been brought in by one of the significant sponsors of the Comrades Marathon. Helen, a few struggling runners now getting through this area. But always nice to have some encouragement when you go through this area.
Oh, very much. And I'm just sort of looking at, they've been running 9 hours. They've got 12 hours to complete this race officially. So they'll be looking at sort of, can they do this 25 kilometers in 3 hours?
So the wonderful visuals in the montage, but back to the Nedbank Green Mile we go, and it's regarded as the official spectator point of the 2014 Comrades Marathon, won earlier today by South African athlete Bongusa Mthembu, and what a charging run. He led for a significant portion in the latter half of this, the down run from Pietermaritzburg to Durban. And it's the significant elevation drop that we thought might be a problem for Bongusa Mthembu, but Helen, the way he finished out the race was absolutely superb.
Yes, he just put his foot down, he pulled away. I think he had a 4-minute gap in the end, and it just made it such a fascinating race because we just saw that lead swapping and changing almost from Gillards, you know, the last sort of 25 kilometers. Just was real entertainment.
And the comeback from Ludwig Mamabola from 5th to 2nd. Just not enough, though, to catch Bongmo Somtemba, who timed his run to perfection. Great tempo. And, of course, the man who was constantly hydrating out on the course. That's it from the Green Mile. Let's go to Minnie Dlamini. She's at Kawi's Hill, which seemed to be a bit of a problem for some of the runners.
I'm standing at Kawi's Hill, and if you can see, you're starting to see a lot less running and jogging and a lot more walking. You guys look exhausted, Ninjani. Comrades this year.
Enjoy.
Ngiyayithanda
kakhulu sis.
Okay, ngiyajabula ukuthi ngikubonile ne.
Kwi-stress sami kakhulu ngiyaenjoya. Ya uye umgidi wami akidani simeme emgidini yenu.
I know siswakhe ngithi uhamba nawe hambani kunothola medal yenu ne.
Yes, thanks mama.
Sharp. Have a good race. How you doing?
I'm good now.
You good, Shadrach? You're looking good. You're looking very calm. How you feeling?
Ngiyabonga kakhulu ngiyajabula. This is the first marathon game. Ngiyaqala ukugijima. Ngiyajabula kakhulu. Ngiyabonga kakhulu isikhathi sakho.
Okay, cool. Hamba kuyothola medal yakho. How you doing?
Hey, how are you, Minnie?
I'm very good. What do you want to say to the viewers at home who have never done the Comrades Marathon?
I just said you must do it once in your life. It's fantastic. It's tough, but it's okay.
It's good. Do you want to say a shout out to anyone at home?
To my wife and my 2 sons, I love you. Peace out.
And Chiri, Mama, Papa, right?
Unjan Siskuk.
Yeah, feeling Jan.
How you feeling? You looking good?
Feeling good.
You feeling good?
I thank God because I'm alive. In the 9th of December, I've been robbed and shot, but I'm doing my combat now.
But you're still running and you're still keeping fit and healthy.
I thank God for that.
Thank God. Have a good race and go get your medal, Sisi. Unjan bab.
Ngiyaphila baba.
Ngiyakubona nje ukuthi right.
Yeah,
Ngiyaphileka.
Ngiyaphileka ngiyaenjoy le race futhi.
Yeah. Uzophinda futhi next year.
Next year. Back.
Number 1, 7, 8 next year. We'll see you then.
I love you, Mom.
Nathan, what do you want to say to someone who's never run the Comrades Marathon? Because this is your first.
This is to my father. He's going to run to me next year. And my brother, Andre. Yeah.
Keep at it. Go get your medal. How are you feeling?
Not bad.
What is it about the Comrades Marathon that makes you keep coming back? This is your 22nd.
It's about opportunity of a lifetime. Never meant to be missed.
Merle, what do you want to say to someone who's never run the Comrades?
It's actually my first, and this is my father's 15th, eh?
You're running together, father and daughter?
Yes.
Keep at it. Keep it in the family. Bye, guys. How you?
Give a shout out to my friend who had a breast replacement yesterday after having a mastectomy.
You're running for breast cancer?
Yes.
Keep at it. Cool, man.
I'm saying to my colleagues, guys, I made it. I'm finished.
Really? Yes. 17 kilometers.
I know. I'm going to finish.
You're going to finish?
That's what I'm saying. I'm doing for my colleagues, guys.
Njani baba? Khosi.
Khosi for life.
Ngiyakubona ugijimela ikhosi we.
Ngibatshela nje ukuthi babone ukuthi siyasenza njani noma sesikhulile siyabuya lapha sayagijima.
Noma iligi ningayiwinanga wena uzohamba nje uthola iComrades.
Iligi angiyiwinanga mari namhlanje umedele ngizawuthola wona ngizabuya nawo. Angijabula kakhulu mangigijima namhlanje ngibatshela lapha evelkomo dumela ngafela mo high litraine litolo wapala Comrades house hata Comrades house ethelito.
And what do you want to say to all the Kosi fans out there watching you right now?
But well this we lose this season, but next season we are going to try to win all the cup and bring back our league at home, Nigeria boys.
Here we go.
Thank you.
Have a good race, Baba.
Thank you, Mama.
Sure, how you feeling?
I'm alright. I'm feeling nice, man. Yeah.
How many times? This is your second Comrade.
Last year I went up.
You're going down?
Yeah, now I'm going down, but it's a bit tough down, man. I like going up.
You're enjoying it?
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Okay, cool. Good to see you. Hello, Mama Rose. Ngiyaphila. What do you want to say to abantu basekhaya?
Angithanda ukuthi bawubisha ngiyathatha green number today. My green number.
Congratulations. Now, if you don't know what she's talking about, if you run 10 Comrades Marathon, you get upgraded to a green number. It's pretty sick. Now, Lady in Pink, obviously running in support of breast cancer.
Pink drive, breast cancer support, yes.
And I love today. It's been a wonderful day today. Well done, everybody, and keep going.
Keep going yourself. You're looking really good.
Thank you.
Sure. How you feeling?
Hey, I'm feeling good because I'm just hoping to finish the race and take my medal.
Kodwa uyahefuzela uphelela umoya asakwazi ukukhuluma uthi feeling good.
I'm feeling good because I was not struggling in everything I was doing along the road.
100%. Go get your medal.
Thanks very much.
Sure. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Herbert, this is your second Comrades Marathon. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm looking forward to get my second medal.
Seriously?
Yes.
And you're going to go get it?
I'm going to go get it.
Let's see a little bit of a jog there. Come on, SABC fam! How you doing?
Doing well.
You feeling good?
Very, very good.
Amazing. Zanzi, Kawi's hill is going absolutely insane. We're starting to see the jogging happening a little bit. Maybe I'm getting energy to run a Comrade. You never know. Get my running shoes on. Kawi's hill, finish line, 17 kilometers. They're going for it, Zanzi!
I just wonder what outfit Minnie will be wearing out on the course if she ever tackles the nearly 90 kilometers of this Comrades Marathon. Far too much energy from Minnie Lamini, but certainly highlighting a number of the causes. And I think Caroline Lee in the Get Up in Pink, Helen, really a number of athletes running for so many causes, not just for self-achievement.
Yeah, I think it's great, and I think when they're all going through a few challenges physically at this race, it's tough now. And I just think they probably think to themselves, why am I doing this? What is it? And they think of that cause, be it breast cancer, helping someone, running for whatever it is, and that just keeps them going. It's a joint satisfaction for their cause and themselves.
Willie, when you look at this race overall, though, Kawi's Hill, despite not being overly formidable in size, just seems to stop so many runners dead in their tracks. Very few athletes outside of the elite athletes can actually run over Kawi's Hill. Why is that?
Yeah, we must remember that these guys, they've been running since in the morning, yeah? And it's been up and down, and, they're tired now, but they don't lose the concentration that they want to finish the race. That's the most important thing, to get that medals. And siyabona ngampela ukuthi insizwe laphana kunzima ngampela ngoba siyabona ukuthi ke sokungamagroup amakhulu laphana abawokhayo kodwa ke bathi noma kanjani sizawufika lapha eThekwini siyithole le medal ngoba i-aim yethu ukuthi sifinishe. Siyabona ukuthi abanye bagijimela nje ukuthi bagijimela abangani babo, abanye bayashada futhi khona lapha. Okumnandi ngale race futhi ukuthi awusoze wafela alone, you always run somebody, you don't run alone.
Well, you can, bear in mind, get in touch with us with Instagram and Twitter, get social and interactive. Hashtag Comrades 2014. A number of the pictures that are coming through, some tweeting from their cell phones, some Instagramming pictures out from the actual race route. And certainly a number of athletes that have got their cell phones with them out on the road and taking pictures at various stages as well. No doubt we'll see a few pictures of athletes having taken pictures at Arthur's Seat, always a very famous place for people to take a few pictures, and alongside the Wall of Honour as well at Drummond, overlooking the Valley of 1,000 Hills. Some of the Twitter comments coming in. One day I'll run Comrades Marathon and I'll finish it, says Mpumi Mtembu. David T. Every South African should do at least a Comrades Marathon at least once in their lifetime. Some words of encouragement for some. Jacqueline Friedman. I am inspired to train even harder to run the Comrades next time. And this message, RIP Shakes, in reference to the passing of the late great Shakes Kungwane, Isaac Kungwane, former Kaizer Chiefs player, and a man who, of course, on so many occasions, we used to work with Shakes Kungwane, the best passer of the ball, he used to remind everybody that worked with him, but he was always somebody who was quick for a laugh, a joke, and always a very pleasant vibe whenever you work with Shakes Kungwane, who tragically passed away earlier this week quite suddenly. Condolences to friends and family members. Some will be running in memory of the great former player who represented South Africa on a couple of occasions, and his career cut short by injury, so unfortunately. Well, some of the more colourful characters, of course, of this race, the Nedbank Green Mile, we were seeing a couple of inspirational costumes. Some look almost Halloweenish in their sense. but some that just look... Was that a Marilyn Monroe impersonator we saw, Helen?
Well, I think we're seeing a bit of everything there, and at the end of the day, these supporters are going to feel that they've certainly run the Comrades Marathon themselves.
Well, lovely to see these pictures coming through from the Nedbank Green Mile. Oh, a little celebration. There's a good old dance coming in. We're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, coverage of the 2014 Comrades Marathon continues here on SABC2.
When finished becomes finish, and could do becomes just did. This is the moment. It's why you run.
Welcome back to live coverage of the 2014 Comrades Marathon. William Toller, Helen Luca, two very familiar faces and two names synonymous with the Comrades Marathon in commentary. And while we've been looking at the colourful characters who've edged their way towards the finish line, some finishing in capes and super... is it Superman costumes and all sorts of interesting costumes. Just a reminder that you can win a Toyota Corolla Quest today. What you need to do by entering the Toyota Amavidi Winner Car Competition is SMS the word Toyota to 34068. SMSs cost R1.50, but a chance for you to win a Toyota Corolla Quest. That draw will happen a little later with Ian Laxton. He'll be down conducting the live draw. You can catch that all live on SABC2. South African men's winner today, a British women's winner who is now a Canadian citizen, and she was proudly carrying the Canadian flag, Ellie Greenwood, at the prize giving, I noticed, despite the fact that she's running under the British flag. But while the athletes continue to stream into Kingsmead Stadium, crowd continuing to grow as well, and some great personal support. Bear in mind, SABC is the official broadcaster of the 2014 FIFA World Cup. That is starting in Brazil in 11 days' time. 12th of June, Brazil take on Croatia in the opening game of the World Cup, all the way up to the final on the 13th of July at the Maracanã in Rio de Janeiro. 64 games, all live across the three television channels from the SABC and 19 radio stations as well. In terms of coverage of the World Cup, go nowhere else. SABC will bring you all the coverage of that wonderful tournament. More on the initiatives of the Comrades Marathon. Let's find out more about the Amabidi Community Chest.
Every day, the song of small voices fills the air at the AH Zulu Educare Centre in Chesterville. This is just one of the places of care that is supported by the Community Chest. They help ensure that the songs can grow along with these boys and girls long after they've left the centre. The Pietermaritzburg and Durban Community Chest is an NGO that raises and distributes funds to organisations who meet the social welfare, education and health needs of the community.
We decided on schools because schools, it's an area that we funded for a very long time, but it's an area that's neglected. And a child's formative years before they are 5 are most important. If a child doesn't get the correct stimulation at that age, they can't go on to study further. And the current statistics show that 1 in 4 children are not ready for grade R in KwaZulu-Natal. So those children will probably fall out of school, those children will probably not go to university, they'll either have no jobs or they'll get poor, low-paying jobs, and the cycle of poverty just goes round and round. They never can get lifted out of it. So more than 6,000 children around the Durban and Pietermaritzburg areas of KwaZulu-Natal will benefit from the funds raised through the Comrades Marathon this year. There are more than 18 schools that are supported by the Community Chest, Pietermaritzburg and Durban, and more than 6,000 children will benefit either directly or indirectly as a result of this intervention. Our funding goes towards operating costs, basically the shortfall on salaries, equipment, food, all the things that they need, electricity, water, your basic essentials that they can't operate without. I think last year we raised 150,000 Rand for each community chest. This year we're looking at 250,000. Obviously we'd like to grow it to 500,000 Rand. Clearly the more money we raise, the more we can do for the kids at the schools. Hopefully one year, maybe Comrades will be like the London Marathon and people will only be able to run if they've contributed to charity. I think that's what they're looking for, and I think it's fantastic.
Donations help to keep the children playing. Chesterville is a village situated between Cato Manor and Westville, and the centre has become an integral part of the community.
The children love the school so much because if they are at home, they are doing nothing with the grannies, and here we teach them a lot. Music, songs, and they learn how to write, and they are doing activities, and they eat food. Sometimes they come without food, empty stomachs from home, so we cook in the morning, they eat, and they enjoy it, and they love it. I love every child in this crèche, just like my own children. I love them so much, yeah. They enjoy being here with us from morning till afternoon.
Love and care are the ingredients that will teach these young hands to build their community. Through the eyes of a child, the world is full of hope.
Founded 18 years ago in a bid to promote some charitable fundraising in South Africa, Amabidi, the official charitable fundraising platform of the Comrades Marathon Association. And what a success it has been. This is the little stretch heading towards the stadium. These are runners who'll be finishing in just over 9.5 hours. 9:25 on the clock currently, 9:26 just about. But some waving. A lot of the Rand Athletic Club athletes coming in. I saw one of the Jeppe Quandam runners, my old club, making their way towards the finish line as well. I think Rand Athletic Club, I don't think there's any other club that has more runners than Rand Athletic. Nedbank certainly has a strong contingent. Irene Running Club as well, the SANDF. There's a couple of local runners as well. DHS Old Boys as well, speaking of old boys. And there's DHS Old Boys. Jeppe Quandam, of course, associated with Jeppe High School for Boys as well. That said, we get a quick break. When we come back, coverage continues of the 2014 Comrades Marathon.
Clientele's new Hospital Plus plan pays out up to 200,000 Rand cash per year. We pay per stay, up to 20,000 Rand cash per hospital stay, plus daily cash for stays over 10 days. It's affordable. Plans start from 99 Rand per month. Annual hospital cover of up to 200,000 Rand, plus additional cover for accidental death, disability, and dread disease. SMS cover to 42932 and we'll call you back.
As we raise the skills of South Africans, we move to a more prosperous tomorrow. For over 12 years, KETHSITA has contributed to raising skills in the tourism and travel, hospitality, conservation, sports, recreation and fitness, arts and culture and heritage, and gaming lotteries sector through the partnership with business, communities and government. KETHSITA, Sustainable People Development for Prosperity.
To the finish we go here in Sahara Stadium, Kingsmead. This is where the runners end up after nearly 90 kilometres from Pietermaritzburg this morning, starting at 5:30. Reminder that if you want to win or stand a chance of winning a Toyota Corolla Quest, you can enter the Toyota Amabidi Winner Car competition. What you need to do is SMS the word Toyota to 34068. 34068. SMSs cost you R1.50, just R1.50. A chance to win a Toyota Corolla Quest, which is to some the ideal way to get from Pietermaritzburg to Durban. For others, of course, it's a sense of achievement of making the route down by foot. And we've seen a couple of athletes as well taking off the shoes and making their way into the stadium, enjoying the feeling of the grass. A lot running with some compression socks as well, which is something we've seen in recent years. Does it aid the runners somewhat?
Well, I believe it does, but it's pretty much if it helps you psychologically, you do it.
Exactly. Anything to help out the mental processes along the way. We'll get Dr. Ross Tucker to give us more on compression socks, no doubt, as the race day coverage continues here on SABC2. But William Tolo, you look back at these visuals of runners coming across the lines, the joy of the dedication that's paid off for these runners. They're going to come home fairly comfortably as well into the final stretch. For another of these Celtic Harriers runners coming in the green and white hoops, making their way in towards the stadium, some running in the colours of the South African flag as well.
Yeah, siyabona ukuthi abagijimi ngempela siyabona enitsho laphana ke iyajabula enjoy ukuthi ke izofinisha. Siyabona nensizwe laphana esigijimela eDurban North zizofinisha lapha eKingsmead Stadium ke ziyashdayi ke kade ngiqalile kodwa ke sengiyafinisha njengamanje kanti isikhathi esesigijimele nibuke lapha ekhaya sebegijime 9 hours 29 minutes kuya ku 9 hours 30. Siyabona ngempela ukuthi ke kukhona netswe ezindala la ezino 40 ezinawo 50 angikutsho mina lapha ekhaya ukuthi ezinye ziyala ko 60 kodwa zisayibambile zisagijima ngampela lebesuke ekseni labantu ke bengadlile sizibeqeda manje. Siyabona ukuthi ke enye insizwe laphana egijimayo izigqokele nje ingubo zayo noma ingubo zamama zasekhaya ithe hayi ngizapresenta yena ngizigijimele mina ngigijimele koqeda nje anginandaba ukuthi ngiqeda skills kodwa mangiqedile nje. Siyabuka ukuthi khona nentokazi laphana nabo mama nengane njena esezikhulile. Kufanele phela uma ufuna ukugijima nomjaho ube umuntu osemdala osekhulile kube ngaphezulu kweminyaka ewu-21 kuya phezulu ukuze ugijime i-Comrades Marathon. Ngaloko awuvumelekile ke umuntu o-under 18 years ukuthi ugijime i-Comrades Marathon ke. Siyazibona ke insizwa ngampela kubi ngampela zikhathele zishaya kancane manje. Abanye bazifamile izandla nje siyabona lezimbili ezilaphana ziyezivokhela ngoba phela kade iqale igijima kusile.
So among the international athletes coming in, they caught a glimpse of one of the Japanese runners coming home. There's another with a Brazilian flag tied around her waist as she enters the final stretch coming into the stadium. A great opportunity for some of the international runners. A lot of international contingent, over 70 countries represented in today's race. A field of nearly 15,000 that actually started this race. It was limited to 18,000 entries for the 2014 Comrades Marathon. So Brazilian and Japanese athletes starting to make their way into the stadium. Brazil has actually entered quite a large contingent, nearly 150 athletes from Brazil for this year's race. Japan, I think, only at about 35 athletes that have made their way to KwaZulu-Natal for this year's race. Of course, the bulk of the entrants are from the host nation in South Africa. The race that is dubbed the ultimate human race. And in terms of ultimate human race, today one champion, only one man that could claim the winner's prize. And the man that won the winner's prize, Bongamusa Mthembu. But if you missed it earlier today, let's review and go back and go through some of the highlights of this morning's men's race. Well, pyrotechnics at the start of this 2014 Comrades Marathon, and nearly 8.5 odd minutes for all the runners to cross the start line. But the elite athletes were well and away at the start of this pyrotechnics, fireworks all around the start gantry, sponsored by Boditas, of course. Early runners, though, the first sight we caught, Charles Sosa was certainly among the starting favourites. Anil Dlamini, another one of the athletes who was putting himself into a good position from the early stages, but far too aggressive from the very start. And Ross, you certainly highlighted that these runners were never going to be any real threat to the winner's podium.
Yeah, they always liven up the race, but they go for the hot spots. They went through very, very quickly. the first half, and in the end we saw none of them even feature in the top 50 of the race. And so that's the price that you pay, Willie, for an ultramarathon where you're too aggressive too early. The cost is steep, and it's always charged later on in the race.
Yes, definitely, it's always like that. There's some people that just start very, very fast and they end up not even finishing the race, which I think that it's not good to like that. You have to be very clever. Siyabona ke isizwe laphana ukuthi ke lapha ke besekuseni kusanokusuka eMaritzburg njengoba ngeke ngasho ukuthi ezinye isizwe zizigijimela nje ukuthi zifuna ukuphuma ku-TV kuya ngaye umuntu ukuthi ngampela ufuna ukwenza njani. Siyayibona ke nale yansizwe leyana uCharles Soza obuyena okwalidla laphana wahlala phambili ngampela ethi hayi lensizwe lezi namhlanje na zingijwayela kodwa ke kuzophuma umuntu.
So Charlie Soza, an hour and a half into the race, was looking particularly strong and trying to chase down Elmo Sibanda of the Maxed Elite team, to the Zimbabwean athletes who had streaked out in front the early stages. The Hammersdale Athletic Club runner Anele Dlamini also looking strong for a time being. As we approached the 2-hour mark, Charlie Soza was still out in front for a little bit. The Nedbank athlete running alongside his compatriot in Elmo Sibanda, despite the fact that they run for different teams. That was heading up towards Cato Ridge. Shortly afterwards, though, the bus started to approach and push forward, and led, I suppose, by Joseph Mputi.
Yeah, this was a bus that formed very soon after the start, and it consisted of all the big favourites, bar one or two. It had Muzingi, it had Mamabolo, it had our eventual winner in it as well. We'll speak about him shortly, but that was the bus of favourites, and they were watching each other. They were allowing the aggression to go on ahead of them, and they were biding their time for the move. And this is where the halfway mark was reached, and as we mentioned, extremely fast, 2 hours 36. And at that stage it was Gert Thys, a man who Comrades viewers will remember from previous years, because he always shows this kind of aggression. So that was something new. What we're seeing here now is something that we hadn't expected. This was the Comrades equivalent of a pit stop in a Formula 1 race. Here you see him gesturing. His team had set up a station a few meters ahead of him. He pulled up, he sat down, and he actually changed his shoes. It took about a minute. They changed the shoe, they changed the chip, and off he went. And really interesting, Willie, because never seen this before. We're still not sure of exactly what the cause or the reason for this was, but in the end, it wouldn't have helped him.
Yeah, definitely. He doesn't like to run with the groups. He always do this. Want to run in front. We saw him in the Trojin. We remember him in Comrades. Did the same thing, and today he did the same thing. And ukugijima ngampela ke uzokhumula izicathula uhlale phasi lokho kuyakhinyabeza ngampela iyona isign esiye sabona ukuthi hayi no, there's something wrong ngampela njengesikala ukuthi ahamba uyashintsha ama ringtools. Siyabona ke njengamanje ukuthi ke nandi enye insizwe lapha eyathi nayo ukuhlala phambili uJoseph Mputi naye owahlala phambili wathi hayi nami ke ngidrivele ibhasi leli kade zidrive izo nami ke ngihlala lapha ekhanda ngizizwe ukuthi hayi zinawo namandla. Kodwa ke bokuse lana ukuthi ngahlala phambili bokudinga ukuthi ke ike ukuhlala lapha emva ithuli nje ibuke ukuthi kwenzekani iziyeke insizwa zilwe lapha zishayane. Lapha ke besibona ke ibhanchi lensizwa lapha ukuthi hayi ke belihleli lapha nalo seliqala kona ukuthi ke insizwa ezincane azixebuke manje nakukhombise insizwa ezindala ukuthi ke seziyahamba manje ngoba lapha bokade zisande nje kumthola le ndoda kaTesi lapha seziyibambile kodwa ke ibe nenkinga ayizange iuqede umjaho ibe emabonakala lapha seyihleli phansi khomle izicathula.
So slowly but surely, those early aggressors started to pay the cost. We just saw there Gert Thys getting caught by the bus. This here is footage from the air of Marco Mamba. He was actually the man who was first to catch Gert Thys. He then led the race. A former multiple winner of the Two Oceans ultramarathon at 56 k's. He made it beyond 56, but not much more. And you can see him in some pain, either a muscle injury or cramp. Shortly thereafter, Gert Thys also pulled over. He sat down at the side of the road. He took his left shoe off and he seemed to be rubbing his Achilles tendon. And so injury took out the two early aggressors. And from this moment on, it was left to that bus of, at this stage, around 6 athletes. You can see just taking those shoes off. That was, of course, his change of shoe. And he would shortly thereafter step off the road. His race was done. Meanwhile, Dwayne, the Elite 6 went on. And that was when the attack started happening at the foot of Kawi's Hill.
It certainly did. The real question marks were over some of the catching runners. Would they be left with enough opportunity, enough time out on the route to be able to catch up to the men that were starting to streak forward? Rufus Porto was looking good at one stage, and then all of a sudden we started to see a wonderful attempt to take the lead by the eventual winner, Bumusa Mtembu. He pushed hard, he caught up to Rufus Porto, who somehow managed to hold on to finish this race fairly strongly for a man that at this stage was starting to struggle. Gift Galehe then showed a little. Stephen Mujingi went on his shoulder. They both caught Rufus Porto as well. The question was whether or not they would be able to, working in tandem, catch Bumusa Mtembu, who had now taken the lead from nearly a minute to 2.5 minutes and was starting to streak ahead, looking good, finding a great tempo.
This was just a fabulous period of racing because the aggression was there. Men were coming from the bus behind. They were making moves. We saw Muzingi drop off on the climb. He came flying back on the descent. We saw Gift Galehe pushing. He got caught. There was such attrition, such a battle. Meanwhile, the race's decisive move was being made here by Bumusa Mtembu, and he covered the 9-kilometer stretch from the bottom of Kawi's up to 82 Ks, 3.5 minutes faster than any other athlete on this day. And that was the move that put him clear. He held that, he even extended that as the rest of the athletes paid for that big surge over Kawi's Hill and over the top. So with 17K to go, Mtembu had opened up a gap which he would then carry all the way through to Durban. Willie, the rest of the athletes, there was a great deal of changing, swapping positions. Mamabolo, the defending champion, came through aggressively. Kalehe faded, Muzingi faded, Porto fought. It was a fantastic period of racing, the likes of which we have not seen at Comrades for a long time.
Yeah, I have no doubt that Mababolo, he ran a very clever race because he just came behind. But I think he also made a mistake, waited too long. And Mzingi and Kalehe, they made a mistake trying to push so hard to try to catch Bumusa. And you can see that these guys, they were moving very fast. They were killing each other. And Bumusa, he ran a very clever race. I think he made the move at the right place and he just concentrated all the way. And that guy, you can see that he was very hungry. He really wanted to win the Comrades. That's how it worked.
Bumusa Mtembu certainly did run a clever race. Ludwig Mamabolo, despite his incredibly strong finish, managed to eventually work his way from 5th up to 2nd position with a streaking run that saw him pass Rufus Porto, pass Stephen Mujingi and pass Gift Galehe. At this stage, Mujingi was just in front of Gift Galehe, was looking to try to find something in his legs that would see him challenge Bumusa Mtembu. But at this stage, Mtembu had settled into his pace. He had realized that nobody was going to be anywhere close to him. He was constantly getting in communication with his manager as well, Nick Bester, a very proud manager as well indeed. Eventually it would be the Nedbank 1-2 finish. But Bumusa Mtembu ran a clever race and constantly hydrating, not focusing or worried about anybody else. But I think it is impressive, Ross, you took us through just how significantly better he took the hills in the final stretches of this race. He conserved his energy well in the earlier stages and made the other runners pay in the latter stages.
Yeah, great performance. Remember, this is the man who came third 2 down runs ago. He was second in the previous down run, and today he completed for himself a clean sweep of the podium by claiming the first prize. And as we mentioned, it was all set up on that surge from about the bottom of Kawi's Hill up to 7K to go. That was where the gap was opened. There was a great deal of challenge from behind, but he was able to resist it. He was able to, in fact, even extend his lead over the final 7 kilometers and to go on and take what was a fantastic win. As Willie mentioned, the smart run was coming from behind. This was Mamabolo, a man who 2 years ago won this race. He made the big effort, but it wasn't enough on the day because Mtembu was in a class of his own, and this is footage of him now. As he's coming up to that finish line, he was able to celebrate in glorious isolation, ultimately winning by quite a considerable margin.
Yeah, definitely, we have no doubt that Bumusa, today was his day because, every athlete has got his own day, You can train so hard and on the day there's something goes wrong, and then you're out. But it doesn't mean that you're not good because those athletes who didn't make it to first or second today, but they ran very well, It depends on the day. because the training is also always hard. You train so hard, and on the day something goes wrong and the race is out. So ngempela siyabona ukuthi ke indoda kaMthembulana ke ishayile intamo, siyayibona ukuthi ijabule ngempela ukuthi namhlanje na ikwazi ukuthi ivikele isicoco sala KwaZulu-Natal singaphumeli ngaphandle. Engicama ukuthi ke ngisho opresident bonke nje abakwaZulu-Natal bajabule kakhulu ukuthi isicoco salele ekhaya. Siyajabula kakhulu ke ngempela ke sibonge nanokuthi nje isupport ebeyikhona emgaqweni sengathi ke ingahlala ikhona njalo ngoba phela ngaphandle kwesupport yenu nina zibuye lapho elentweni emgaqweni yinina esibuguzela ukuthi noma ngomuntu sekhathele kodwa uma ebona nina uthola amanye amandla. Siyayibona ke insizwakalo laphana ke esashaye zakhe phela adume ngazi ukuthi ke uma ngabe finishile naye ke ujabule kakhulu lana phela iyona insizwa lena ke eyayiwinile ngonyaka odlule. Mlaleli lapha emakhaya ngisho ukuthi ke umnandi kakhulu ke unumber 1 no-number 2 ubangile njengamanje abakhona lapha eMzansi. Siyayibona insizwa Unique Best laphana ke ibahalalisela ke nandi ke insizwa kahelehe nayo ke ibulisa idlwele ibonga isupport abamnike yona.
So there was Gift Kalehe, who in the end came through quite strongly. He caught Stephen Muzingi, who was the early challenger, but perhaps in the end just ran a little bit out of steam. And Kalehe, famous name at the Comrades Marathon, managed to take third place. Stephen Muzingi, a three-time champion, not to be today, but nevertheless a good, strong performance from Muzingi. He was fourth. And then in fifth, a fighting performance, really tenacious, from Rufus Portal.
Well, in the end, the top 5 runners home, 4 of them South African, and that was ultimately a real prize for the South African athletes. Rufus Porto finishing in 5th position, but Nedisi Mkhize coming home in 6th position, one of the maxed elite athletes crossing the finish line. And then one of the pre-race favourites, the Swede, he's 40 years old, Jonas Budd, but looking very strong the way he finished. A little uncomfortable middle stage of the race. Ultimately, though, a very solid performance. Despite a second-place finish last year, the down run this year a little more punishing, perhaps, on the Swedish athlete as he came home in 7th position. Rounding out the top 10, another South African athlete, Manoko Mkwala, Prodigal Kumalo, and then Laturi Makufane finishing in 7th position for Samanko, teammate of Gift Kalehe, who finished in 3rd. So very strong performances from the South Africans in this top 10. Swede, a few Zimbabwean athletes as well, led by Stephen Muzingi. And then, of course, just missing out on the top 10. This is Laturi Makufane coming home in 10th, just missing out in the gold medal was Vasily Larkin, a Russian athlete, and of course Lucas Nonyana, who 11 years ago missed out and making the halfway stage, finished in a magnificent 12th. But congratulations to winner Bongosa Mthembu.
The chefs could not agree on a result.
Bleach! Handy Andy!
Until new Handy Andy Ultra Hygiene Cream was introduced. Its 2-in-1 formula of microparticles and bleach left every surface clean and hygienic. Handy Andy, always a beautiful ending, hygienically.
Robert! We don't have much time. I'm sorry that I couldn't be the man that you wanted me to be.
The entertainment begins when you pay your TV license in-store at over 10,000 outlets nationwide.
Germs are all around the house and they threaten the health of your family.
How goes the secret germ invasion?
Chief, our germ soldiers have surrounded the house.
We're all over the kitchen. And the bathroom?
We own the bathroom.
What is that?
Domestos All-in-One Thick Bleach has a foamy thick formulation with added detergent to perfectly clean all the surfaces of your house and kill germs dead. Domestos cleans and kills germs all around the house.
KEPSITA, Sustainable People Development for Prosperity through partnerships with business, communities, and government.
Coverage of the 2014 Comrades Marathon back live, and of course an opportunity to watch friends and family crossing the finish line. A great moment of self-achievement for those who do complete this ultimate human race, as it is dubbed, the Comrades Marathon of 2014. Well done to the South African athlete Bongomusa Mthembu, British athlete Eleanor Greenwood having won the women's race. But these are more athletes coming into the finishing stretch here at Sahara Stadium, Kingsmead, crossing the finish line. Very respectable time as well. Still under 10 hours to complete this Comrades Marathon. And these athletes can be particularly proud of themselves. They've gone out, they've achieved an objective by not only finishing this race, some will be going for specific times. We've seen some compression socks being worn, and Dr. Ross Tucker, while we've got you in here, and your medical background, sports science is your area of expertise, and Helen Luca and I were discussing whether or not it's physiologic, whether it is an advantage and helps physically, or if it's simply the psychological boost that you need, if it's in a sense something that helps you mentally rather than physically.
There's certainly a psychological component to it, but there is also some physiological evidence now. And in fact, a study was done actually at the Two Oceans Ultramarathon by the University of Stellenbosch, and they found that the muscle damage, so we're talking here about the pounding taken by the legs and the muscles, is actually reduced the day or two after if you run in compression socks. And we're talking there about these colourful, often sometimes colour-matched long socks that athletes wear. I'm sure we'll point out there's a gentleman just disappearing stage right wearing black socks. And so there is evidence of that. There are a couple of theories. One is that they improve the blood flow and the circulation. My personal preference is that they probably act a little bit to dampen the vibration during running, the impact, the repeated impact. And so certainly there's a benefit. Some athletes find them too uncomfortable to run in, so whatever benefit there might be would be cancelled out by just the discomfort. So it's very much a personal preference, but they are certainly becoming more and more popular. So that's the science of compression garments. If there are any viewers out there who have any other scientific or technical, medical-related questions, feel free to tweet us using the hashtag Comrades2014, and you can also tag me at Science of Sport, and I'll certainly make an effort later in the broadcast to try and respond to those as much as I can.
So if you want to get some medical advice and opinions, the insights of Dr. Ross Tucker, you can tweet us using the hashtag Comrades2014. And of course, if you want to post any pictures, you can do so. Friends and family who might have finished the race, unifying people, bonds created out on the race course, crossing the finish line. Oh, hugs of approval, encouragement, support that's been out on the route, and wonderful to cross the finish line together. It's about the camaraderie of this race, the Comrades Marathon, and as more colourful characters head towards the stadium finish, let's hear more from Valen Kirtley. Valen, I believe you got the great golfer Patrick Baranski alongside you.
Thank you very much, Dwayne. And as we watch the pink afro coming into the stadium here at Sahara Stadium, Kingsmead, the finish of the 89th edition of the Comrades Marathon, we remember some of the colourful characters that we've seen out en route, many of them which you would have seen in the Nedbank Green Mile. Now, Nedbank has been a major sponsor of the Comrades Marathon, and for the last 12 years, they're currently the longest standing major sponsor, and they've actually had a water point. They sponsored a water point at the Comrades Marathon for the past 33 years, and every year they get better, as runners will attest to. This year's Green Mile has been absolutely magnificent. Inside the studio we have sponsorship manager of Nedbank, Patrick Baranski. Patrick, you guys have outdone yourselves this year with the Green Mile.
Yeah, thanks, Valen. I think it comes with experience. It comes with a passion for the sport. And it comes with making a difference to not only the runners, but hopefully the spectators in those areas as well. You know, it's a long day for everybody. 12 hours is an extended period for even good old supporters to be on the side of the road. It's an exhausting day. So we like to add value, and clearly we've learned the recipe for success.
Yeah, and you guys have been doing it for 33 years.
Yeah, I mean, again, credit to our branch network. You know, that started off as a little Pietermaritzburg branch initiative to support the Comrades Marathon. And they now hold the joint record with Seals Swimming Club for hosting a water point for 33 years, and it's quite a tradition that we'd like to continue. But also a great team building day for our staff, and a nice way to interact on this very inspirational day.
I think that's exactly the thing, is that the Comrades Marathon, yes, it's about the person that goes over that finishing line, but it's really also about all the support that they've gotten, not only to get there, but then also to get through the day. And those water points and what you provide in the way of entertainment and vibe really does lift the spirits of the runners. And it's so nice because it really gets those that have supported their auntie, uncle, husband, wife for many, many months. It also gives them an opportunity to really feel a part of it.
Yeah, 100%. And credit to the people of KwaZulu-Natal. They've embraced this event. They're the reason that it's been here for 93 years. And those uncles and aunties that you're talking about, they're the salt and bread and butter of those water points, and the reason that we have 48 refreshment stations en route, and the reason that runners can have a fairly comfortable day, other than they've got to put one foot in front of the other for 89 kilometres. But that's the inspiration to being involved, and why this event is such a truly South African event.
Okay, so this Nedbank Green Mile that the runners will go through with 26 kilometres to go till the finish line. We've seen some pretty odd characters there. I saw some people dressed up what looked like Kiss. I think I saw somebody looking a bit like Marilyn Monroe. What is going on there?
No, a nice one. Every year we try and put a little bit of a theme to it. This year we decided to honour the runners and call them all rock stars. And fittingly, we engaged our support crews to be as rock stars as well. We've engaged the local barnyard theatre in KwaZulu-Natal in Durban to come up and play their gigs for the day up there. So we've had that kind of activity all day. And then the usual things that work. So the runners seem to love our girls hanging in trees, giving high fives above them. We've had our traditional kids play area, face painters, balloon animals. We brought in some big 6 metre high puppeteers this year. So they've been up and down the mile. Of course, all our traditional marching bands and pipe bands and the drum majorettes.
And the flag, major South African flag.
Yeah, look, the flag is a special one for us. I mean, again, we're a proudly South African brand, but we're very proud of the heritage of this event. And the best way to honour that is put a massive South African flag over the road. We tried it last year. Unfortunately, the wind blew us away. But this year, that 20 metre by 13 metre flag has flown very proudly over the Nedbank Green Mile, and I hope we've done it justice.
Yeah, you certainly have. One thing you have done justice to is your elite running club. They took both the men's and women's title in this year's race. The men's winner, Bongmusum Tembu, and the women's winner, Ellie Greenwood. I mean, as a sponsor, you actually couldn't ask for anything more, could you?
No, I think full credit to the athletes. We like to think that as sponsors and as managers we have a little role to play in that, but they've still got to put in the hard miles. They've still got to sweat it out, and Nedbank's incredibly proud of all those athletes. I'm just as proud of the athletes that are still going to come. We had 816 Nedbank Running Club members qualify for this race. So, by the time the 12-hour gun comes, we pay huge respect to those people as well. But full credit to our gold medal winners. 3 men, 4 ladies picking up gold medals. Bungamuso, South African, very proud of him. He stepped up every year on the down run, and now he's the leading runner. Ludwig gave him a good run for his money, excuse the pun. And of course Ellie Greenwood, and that one just blew my mind, because I saw Ellie at 30 k's into the race, and she says, today's not my day. And I just said to her, keep going, stick it out. Even when she came through the Nedbank Green Mile, she was still 9 minutes off the Nugelieva twins, but she gunned it out. And you never know in this race, until you get to the finish line, you never know who you're going to catch. And full credit to her to bring home a win for the Nedbank Running Club as well.
All right, now just as you're busy talking, on the screen we're seeing Lily van Skalkwyk. She's holding up a big golden number 30. She is completing her 30th Comrades Marathon. That is an absolutely major achievement. Congratulations to Lily. You have put in all the hard miles. Not many people can claim to be a triple
green.
Triple green, yes. Thank you very much, Patrick. She's got 3 laurels now on her number. And let's cross to Kwena, because he's there ready to speak to Lily. All right. Well, I think we've got a little bit of a problem with the sound. I'm sure we'll be able to cross down there a little bit later on. It looks like they have just come through your Green Mile and stolen some of your costumes, Patrick.
Again, credit to runners from around the world. I mean, those two runners are running in blue numbers, so they're obviously not from South Africa, but they embrace this event, and that's what makes it special. I wish you could see some of the costumes on the side of the road. I think the spectators make a great day of it as well. Truly memorable day, and we've been blessed by good weather today. Obviously a little bit warm. I suspect that we're going to have a lot of people crying into that last hour, and normally only 44% of the field finish in the last hour, so it's going to be very pressurized here in Kingsmead from 11 to 12 hours. But that's what this race is about, getting to the finish line, getting your medal, even if it is a Vic Clapham medal, and being very proud of it.
Absolutely. It's for anybody that prepares for this race. They have put in a lot of time. They have put in the time that they can to prepare for this race, and they have put in a very long day on the road. For how many years will Nedbank still be a part of this race?
Well, look, we committed on our sponsorship until 2016 already.
Wow.
So it's a long-term partnership, and that's why Nedbank gets involved with these kind of things. You need to put your money where your mouth is. Again, excuse the pun. But from a Nedbank point of view, that's why we invest in communities. We like to make a difference, and you can't do that over short terms. You have to have a long-term view about it. That's what our running strategy is around. So we're partners of the Comrades Marathon. Of course, we've got 12 running clubs around the country, so we like to provide a platform for people to exercise and get into the sport, no matter where they are in South Africa. And then the third component to that is an educational component, where we've partnered with Tom Cottrell in terms of the Runner's Guide, the most comprehensive display of running activities both on and off road, and training programs and things like that. And I think that value proposition speaks to a sound running investment that's not just about a one-hit wonder and all about branding.
Absolutely. What is Nedbank's involvement with the Sports Trust?
So Nedbank's been a long-term partner of the Sports Trust. We're one of the founding trustee members. Through our Nedbank Sport Affinity program, those clients that take up that particular product, a portion of their fees, and that gets paid on their behalf from Nedbank, so it doesn't cost them anything, to the Sports Trust. And every year we invest a couple million into various sporting projects, and it's up to the Sports Trust then to identify key development projects, no matter what they are, around the country. They do a fantastic job. By example, in the Nedbank Cup, we managed to raise R1 million in the Goals for Goals component from Nedbank, and that went into a multi-purpose sports facility related to the sports that a school could gain value from.
That's absolutely fantastic. So like you say, it's more than just putting attaching your name to a brand. You really get involved into the fabric of the sport of running and athletics and development of the sport.
No, it has to be part of your DNA. You have to be really proud of those people. At the end of the day, they support your brand, and you want to support them on a multitude of levels. And I think that's why communities are so key to events like the Comrades Marathon, and why we look forward to welcoming so many people into our branches on a day-to-day basis.
All right, lovely. Thank you very much. That's Patrick Baranski, who is the sponsorship manager of Nedbank. Nedbank Running Club, of course, taking the title in the men's race through Bongmoso Mthembu, as well as in the women's race through Ellie Greenwood. Stay with the SABC Sport. We're back after this.
As we raise the skills of South Africans, we move to a more prosperous tomorrow. For over 12 years, KEFCITA has contributed to raising skills in the tourism and travel, hospitality, conservation, sports, recreation and fitness, arts and culture and heritage, and gaming lotteries sector through the partnership with business, communities and government. KEFCITA, sustainable people development for prosperity.
Well, a few minutes ago, we had Clanky van Skalkwyk finishing. And Clanky, of course, is the first woman to finish the Comrades Marathon 30 times, a major achievement. Clanky is a fantastic athlete. She's done 30. She comes down from Mossel Bay, running for the Hartenbos Drovers, Hartenbos Joggers, I suppose. And Clanky is a remarkable athlete, finished the Ironman as well, and that is a huge achievement. The first woman to complete the Comrades Marathon 30 times. But one of the sponsors this year is New Balance, and we had a chat with Alan Smith a couple of weeks ago.
New Balance have been creating shoes since 1906. The manufacturer came on board with the Comrades Marathon as the official footwear and apparel sponsor in July last year, and the company say it was a natural fit to be linked with the oldest ultramarathon.
When Comrades came up, it was a fantastic. It was a natural synergy to join forces. You know, the number one ultra event in the country, number one ultra event in the world, and for us as a brand to associate ourselves with Comrades. And that's the runner that needs technology. That's the runner that we can talk directly to our market, to our consumer.
The first step to this partnership, a limited edition Comrades 2014 shoe.
The Comrades shoe is the 890, designed in your Comrades colours of the shoe. The Comrades shoe, it's a lightweight trainer, which can obviously go the distance. Interesting about the shoes these days is that the upper is a phantom fit upper, and it's a no-sew upper. So for your Comrades runner, it restricts the blistering, the chances of blistering on the inside of the shoe. So if you look at the shoe, on the shoe, there's very little seams on the shoe. The midsole, there's an 8mm heel to toe drop on the midsole of the shoe. Your outsole made up of a carbon rubber heel with a blown rubber forefoot for added cushioning to it. And what's very interesting about the shoe, just to give it some unique taste to Comrades, is that they put the Comrades map on the inner sole of the shoe. So, as some people say, if you tend to get lost on the route and you're alone out there, just pull out your map and you can find where you are. The Comrades shoe at the moment is not necessarily the lightest shoe, but it's a shoe that's going to give you sufficient cushioning, number one. Number two, it's the motion of your foot. Some people pronate. Pronation means rolling, your foot rolls towards the inside. So often you would need a shoe that will stabilize you just to control the motion of your foot to prevent that pronation. If you're going to allow that pronation, you could get problems like knee injuries, RTB, etc. Then you get very few runners that do supinate, which is rolling to the outside. You'll generally find that a runner rolls to the outside is not an anti-supination shoe, but that person would run in a very flexible, neutral shoe to control the motion of their foot.
We're back with the live action here at the Comrades Marathon, and we're coming up now to the end of the bronze. Well, it's still bronze medal time. Lots of time to go before the end of the bronze medals. And Helen, you can see noticeably now the density of the finishes is getting up high.
10 hours of the race, there was just over 4,000 people finished. Now, you've got to understand that there's 14,000 people, 14,620 people lined up this morning and started this race, and only 4,000 have finished. So we've got 2 more hours to expect 10,000 people. We know there's a few people who have pulled out in the way, but still quite a mass of people to come in.
Yes, you can tweet us on hashtag Comrades, and some of the tweets coming in. So proud of my piano teacher. Well done. And Miss Caleb says it seems impossible until it's done. Well done to all the soldiers who finished. The rest you can do as well. So obviously lots of support for the runners out there, folks sitting at home, and obviously people running with little injuries, and that those strapping to keep all the joints in place.
But I think it looks quite comfortable temperatures. I mean, yes, some people are showing strain. That I think that's just as much the distance and stress on their bodies. But in general, many of these runners are coming in not looking too stressed from the weather, and I think that's sort of accountable for quite a lot of good performances. Maybe even earlier in the day, where we saw 23 people coming in under 6 hours. 527 people got a silver medal, which is great, and then 2,500 came in under 9 hours.
Well, many of these runners, in fact, are running for charity, but some of them are running for causes not necessarily related to the official charities. Because one of them was young little James Reed, 20 months old, living in Johannesburg, diagnosed with leukemia, a really severe form of leukemia, just a couple of weeks ago. And Mike Wilmot was running to raise money for little James Reed, and Mike Wilmot finished a while back in 8 hours 57, so well done to him. So Mike Wilmot and the family, we hope you can get some money raised for young James. But Valen Kirtley in the studio with Nolene Cochin, I think it is, from Pink Drive.
Thank you very much, Ian. I have got two treats in studio. I've got Nolene Cochin, who is the founder of the Pink Drive, one of the official Amabidi charities. And I've also got a lady that has been helping to raise funds for the Pink Drive, as well as pets, those animals that are perhaps mistreated in disadvantaged areas of South Africa. Hazel Moller. And I'm going to start with Hazel Moller because 10 days ago, her and two other comrades set off from Johannesburg to make their way down to Durban by running 90 kilometers in the 12 hours that is required at Comrades in the 9 days leading up to race day, and then their final Comrades Marathon actually being the day when they run with the 17,000 others. Now, Hazel, tell us what happened, because I know you haven't done the full 10 in 10, but what you have done is absolutely amazing.
Well, Valen, it was an epic adventure. It really was. We left Bedfordview with our seconds. At the send-off the clubs gave us was phenomenal. Bedfordview and Jeppe came out, Pink Drive was there, and pets were there. And that was just amazing. I had a good cry. I was really touched by that. And yes, the first 2 or 3 days went pretty well. Then Carlo started feeling pain in his lower leg, and it just got progressively worse. So after the 4th day, he decided, no, he's holding us up. And then on the 5th day, I battled. Oh gosh, I really struggled. My stomach was incredibly sore, and I've had a stomach ulcer before, and not to be vile, but it was not pretty. and yeah, it was bleeding a bit. So I decided very reluctantly, well, at the time it wasn't reluctant, it was pure relief, to stop and go on treatment and on pills recommended by the doctor, so that I could come today. And Hilton, the hero, is amazing. He's made it all this way. He's done 9, yet he's out there doing his 10th, and we're so proud of him. Incredibly proud.
And all of this to raise funds for Pets and Pink Drive.
Yes, and I must say, it was amazing. I mean, Pink Drive in Clarence, they all came out. In Frankfurt, we had 2 pink people on their Harleys with us as we finished. It was really, really, it was lovely. It was such a heart-warming experience.
How proud are you, Nolene, of this kind of challenge? Because, about 3 weeks ago, when I first got in contact with Hazel, and she told me about what she was doing, and I was saying, you're absolutely crazy. People run 10 Comrades to get a green number, and you want to run 10 Comrades, and you're not even going to get a green number. And she said, yes, no, but I'm going to raise money. I said, okay, well, that's fantastic. Just how proud are you of her that she has undertaken this, and Hilton and Carlo?
Well, I'm absolutely lost for words. But I think what they've truly demonstrated, I mean, the pain that cancer patients go through, breast cancer patients, be it the males, prostate and testicular, that's the same pain I'm sure that they endured on their journey. So, I mean, Pink Drive is eternally grateful, because what it's done for us, it's brought us very close to communities that we hadn't been to. So, yeah, I don't know what to say other than thank you, and we will be there for them for as long as it takes.
I mean, I think it's remarkable, because when I first asked the Comrades Marathon Association whether somebody had done a challenge like this, try to run, 10 Comrades in 10 days, they'd said they'd never heard of anything like this, and that would be the first time that they would be that they've heard of something like this. I mean, I think what's remarkable about the Pink Drive is that you guys have gotten so many people behind you and behind what you stand for.
Yes, and obviously an event such as the Comrades Marathon, I think, shows the true spirit. And that's also what cancer patients need. They need the true spirit, the support of the entire family, whatever their networks are. And by doing, individuals coming up with their own campaigns, truly demonstrates, I think, what South Africans are all about. And for me, this year's Comrades has been amazing. We were allowed for the very first time to have our own pink running shirts. So we, by default, we've had over, I think, close on 600 runners in pink running shirts. They dotted all over. And that, over and above it being a huge fundraiser, it's another awareness for us.
Absolutely. Now, I was actually at the Polosong Hospital with the Pink Drive's mobile mammography unit and actually seeing what they do, where they take that diagnostic equipment closer to communities so that those communities don't have to travel over 50, 60, 70 kilometers to the nearest breast cancer unit where they were able to do mammograms. Those facilities come to them, and it is a major relief for the hospitals in those areas. So the work that you guys are doing is wonderful. Congratulations to you, and congratulations to the money that's going to be raised. Hazel, a special congratulations to you, and will you be doing it again?
That's a good question. I think 5 is enough. I had such a strong run today, so maybe 5 before suits me. I don't know.
Perhaps. Well, you won't find many people saying that they'll do 5 Comrades distances as a taper for the big day. But Hazel, thank you very much. Hilton is still actually out on the road. They expect that he will be finishing around about what time?
We're not sure. I think he'll sneak in under 12. He's had a tough time. He really has. But I must say, one of the reasons, what was so nice about Pink Drive is it makes you aware of your health. You've got to look after your health. That's the number one in everybody's life. It's the big picture.
All right, well, Hilton is still out on the road, and as his teammate Hazel has said, you'll probably be sneaking in just under that 12-hour mark, and you'll recognize him because he's wearing a cap with a little penguin bouncing on top of it, and he's been wearing that cap for the last 9 days, completing 90 kilometers every single day on his way down to Pietermaritzburg, and then of course starting the race, and he's going to be ending here in Durban. It is an amazing thing that they undertook. Nobody had ever done it before, and Hilton can, when he comes across this finish line and receives his Vic Clapper medal, he'll be able to say that he did 10 Comrades in 10 days, all for a very, very good cause. All right, it's time now for our live broadcast of the 89th running of the Comrades Marathon. To take a break, do stay with us.
CETA, Sustainable People Development for Prosperity through partnerships with business, communities, and government.
Want softer and more radiant skin? Dove is the secret. Take above your soap and Dove. Use yours on one side and Dove on the other. Oh no, the soap wash side feels rough because ordinary soaps dry your skin. The Dove side is softer, smoother, and more radiant. Dove is different. With 1/4 moisturizing cream, it deeply nourishes for radiant skin all over. Try Dove and see the difference. You'll never wash with ordinary soaps again.
Robert! We don't have much time. I'm sorry that I couldn't be the man that you wanted me to be.
The entertainment begins when you pay your TV license in-store at over 10,000 outlets nationwide.
Does your skin get so dry it feels like it's cracking? Now with micro droplets of Vaseline Blue Seal. Vaseline lotion deeply moisturizes dry skin and keeps skin smooth and restored for 3 times longer. That's the healing power of Vaseline.
Well, back with the live action of the Comrades Marathon. And, of course, this year, the time running up, still in the bronze medal, not into the last hour yet. So these folks coming in with a very comfortable bronze medal. Just a little thing on Matters Charity. Just one thing. On Thursday night at the Expo, the Starfish Great Hearts Foundation launched a thing called the Wellness Wagon, which is a new initiative on their part, which is a little bit like the Pink Drive in a way. It's a mobile screening van or a mobile van that goes around to schools and tests children for various medical parameters, looking for early childhood issues. So the Wellness Wagon is a very similar initiative to the Pink Drive, which goes around the country. So that's another thing from the charities. But speaking of charities, the Unugwaja Challenge has been around for the last 5 years. Folks cycling all the way from Cape Town to Maritzburg, then running the Comrades Marathon. And the Unugwaja Challenge is something we've looked at. Let's see what that's all about.
Phil Masterton-Smith, known by his nickname Unugwaja, in 1931 became the youngest Comrades winner ever at 19. 2 years later, when he couldn't afford the train fare to Natal from the Western Cape, he cycled to the start and ended in 10th place. Masterton-Smith laid the track for the spirit of the race. His bravery and resilience has inspired a train 70 years on. Not this train, the Red Love train.
You're watching this on Race Day, and that means that 10 days ago, a group of fun, colourful and very loud people known as the Unugwaja left Cape Town on their bicycles all the way to Pietermaritzburg before taking on the 89-kilometre journey from Maritzburg down to Durban. So this is them behind me before their journey. And with their theme of wherever you go with your heart, you will meet these guys along the road because they will catch your attention. They're known as the Red Love train. The red coming obviously from those very bright red socks. So we're here to find out exactly what the challenge is all about, because it's got a lot of history that is quite symbolic when it comes to the Comrades Marathon. The muscles that you use for cycling are very, very different from those that you use for running. So are you a little bit concerned about that? Like two very different activities right close to one another?
Yeah, I'm not exactly the strongest runner, so I'm hoping that I can tow someone a little bit on the cycle and they can carry me on the run. But
so are you going to carry him? Are you offering to carry him?
I'm going to be the one doing the towing. That's why I'm standing next to him. I hope he's got a bungee to kind of pull me up the hill. So as for helping him with the running, I don't know. We'll talk about that on day 10 in the evening.
Okay, let's see those legs, because if you're going to be carrying his body weight and your own the whole way from Pietermaritzburg to Durban, I think we better check out those legs.
It's not the size, it's what you do with it. Not the size, it's what you do with it.
This is a naughty bunch of people. Now, he's actually run 12 Comrades before this, and it's going to be your very first Unugwaja Challenge, hopefully finishing your 13th. What is it about the Comrades that is so special, that make it the ultimate human race?
It's the challenge that it's behind the Comrades, the spirit of the Comrades, and the respect everybody gives to one person who finished the Comrades just one time in his life. And I'm doing this Comrades as it is the most important in my life, because 2 years ago I had 2 heart surgeries. Today I'm strong and healthy and ready to help everybody in the team and all the Red Love train to go to the finish.
The story has inspired many donations because it's all about raising money.
How much money have you guys made, John?
Last Friday we heard that we've already broken the 1 million rand mark, which is just, it's like I can't explain it. It's a dream. We put it out there to raise 1 million rand by the end of the campaign this year, and we've raised it a week before we've left. And I'm now hoping by Comrades Day that we can double it, and dreams can fly. Like, I believe that it can happen, and who knows, on Comrades Day, which is right now, in the future, maybe we've raised 2 million rand, and it would be an incredible thing.
From the staff, who's the head of the support crew, to each member of the Unugwaja who cycled from Cape Town, they believe you need to go with passion. Go with your heart.
Well, we still have to wait for the Unugwaja Challenge guys and girls to come in. They're out there on the road somewhere. I'm pretty certain they're going to come in pretty soon, but we'll look out for them. But in the meantime, Valen Kirtley has Nick Bester in the studio.
All right, thank you very much, Ian Laxon. In studio, I have Nick Besto, who is the manager of the Elite Nedbank Club. They, of course, are taking the men's and women's titles through Bongmusa Mthembu as well as Ellie Greenwood. It's been a fantastic day out for you, Nick. And before this race, you had actually said Nedbank Running Club will take 50% of those gold medals.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm very glad that Ludwig Mamabola and Bongomesa Motema could do it for South Africa. We predicted that they will lead the onslaught, and it turned out on the day that both of them were there at the end of the race. In a ladies' race, also, Ellie, we thought Evie could win the Nurgalova twins today, and that happened. She only caught them 4Ks to go. But I'm also very happy for the first South African home, Caroline Woesman from the Gauteng North Nedbank Club.
One South African woman that we were hoping we had done as almost one of our favourites was Shanae Bosman, and we got to the news after halfway that she had collapsed and she had fallen out. What is the latest on her?
Yeah, I just received a phone call from her husband, Carl, and she was admitted to hospital, but later on he told me she's recovering, she's better. But also we've got Camilla Heron also admitted to the same hospital, and I think it's just overhydration, dehydration, and fatigue, and maybe she's got a problem with blood sugar, and maybe that get caught up with her. But I can also say that Shanae was in excellent shape. She was really ready to run this race. But the Comrades is a leveler of all races in South Africa. You must respect the distance and the hills. And today was a little bit warmer than normal.
I think also when it comes to Shanae, because this was her main race for the year, she didn't compete in the two oceans because she was putting all her focus into the Comrades. There's also going to be that mental hurt to get over of having to drop out of this race.
Yeah, because this was her second race. Last year she was a novice. She came here and she had an excellent race, and you expect to do the same. But now, next year I think she's a little bit cautious. Like you said, maybe it will have an impact on her mind. But she is a strong athlete, and she is a talented athlete that represents South Africa in the past. And I'm confident that she'll be all right.
Yeah, well, I think from the entire SABC sport crew and from the South Africans that we have seen tweeting, and we wish her all the best. Tell her that we wish her a speedy recovery. We want to see her back on the road because we do believe that she can offer a lot more to South African and to South African road running. When it comes to our champion, our men, Bongmusa Mthembu, I mean, what did he tell you after the race? Because I can just imagine how elated he must have been as an athlete from KwaZulu-Natal to win this race. He's come runner-up before, and this year finally claiming the win.
Yeah, he was very emotional at the end, and then you saw him. He was lying down, and we thought that he was exhausted, but actually he was taking in the moment, and he was crying because he was happy. That's what he was doing, and I was crying with him. So now we knew that he and Ludwig is a strong guys, not physically but mentally. You could hear Ludwig talk at the press conference. He was confident. Bongomesa was confident, and that is what you prove through in a race like this. You have to be mentally strong. Doesn't matter how much you train, how many mountains that you run in training. You must be mentally strong, and they're two clever guys as well. So I'm very happy for the two of them, and I think we can expect that they will be the next role models for Comrades and people that can make the race just bigger for South Africans, especially because we are so used to the Russians, the guys, and beating our guys, especially in the down run. The previous down run was also won by Claude, and it was a long time since South Africa won that. But now we must start dominating this race, and we've got the athletes in our stable to do that in a couple next years to come.
All right, thank you very much. That's Nick Besser just speaking to us from a Nedbank Elite Running Club perspective. They have had a fantastic outing here at the 2014 Comrades Marathon. Let's go back to our commentators.
Well, thank you, Valen. And back with the action, 10 hours 26. Another 34 minutes to go before the cut-off of the bronze medal. Then we go into the final hour, the Black Clapper medal. I saw Andries Venter just now of Alberton been running for many years, and lots of comrades behind him. He was in picture, not at the moment, man from Krugersdorp in the far west of Gauteng, out there with the arm in a sling. Runners run with all sorts of, shall we say, disabilities and injuries and things, but somehow, they kind of make it to the end somehow.
I guess if you've trained the whole year for this race, nothing's going to stop you, and especially not a sore arm. So die atlete wat hier inkom, aan die einde, sit die atlete daar van Krugersdorp en baie van die atlete, mense se vriende en familie wat hier klaar maak. En maar uitkyk of julle geliefdes kan sien op die skerm. Klomp groen nommers wat ook klaar maak, atlete wat meer as 10 Comrades al afgelê het.
Well, a man from Pirates going through the red vest, one of the better known and older clubs in Gauteng. It looks like a man from Cape Town, I think it is Nedbank, the green of Nedbank, and husband and wife married 25 years. Oh, congrats. I wonder if it's their anniversary today. Lots of people with lots of signs saying hello to their friends, and that's a wedding anniversary sign, the two of them. I can't see their club from here, but congrats to them anyway.
Yeah, and I'm always amazed at the thought that couple has carried that banner the whole way from Pietermaritzburg, unless they picked it up just before they came in.
We don't know that. Maybe they got somebody waiting on the side of it out, whether they carried it all the way. There's a little kind of army of banner carriers outside the stadium waiting for their people to come. But, we haven't had the Unugwaja people in yet, but we'll wait for them. Very, very distinctive with their red train and their red socks. And John McEnroy in the thick of it there, the driving force behind the Unugwaja challenge. But right now, let's just look at that number. 5,324 people only have finished yet. Lots and lots of people. Remember, 14,000 something started.
Yeah, so the vast majority is still out there. You think stretching probably all the way back into Westville and behind. It's quite a thought. And it's an interesting thought when you think about barriers, because I'm sure if you did bring the old 11-hour barrier back in, a good portion of those people would still make it. They'd drive themselves to the barrier. Yeah,
they certainly would. And I think that, personally, it's my view that the 12-hour barrier is a good thing. It's just one of those things that we need to do to keep the thing really inclusive, because 11 hours. But having said that, I remember when Wally Hayward finished his final Comrades Marathon back in 1989, he beat the 11-hour barrier at the age of jolly nearly 81.
He did, Ian. He just made it by a couple of minutes. And I think we have to remember that the earliest Comrades were 12 hours. And in fact, there has been a medal presented to a runner who was 13 hours.
Yes, 12 hours started, and then it was for 11 hours for decades, until the 12 hours came back in for the Millennium Race in 2000. So there we go. And earlier on today, we had a very, very exciting and dramatic women's race. Well, that was the start. We've seen that once or twice today at the start, and as they went off, there were about 16,000 men and women in there. Amongst them, a whole bunch of elite women running for the 10 gold medals, and the distinction of finishing in under 7.5 hours. That was Pietermaritzburg. It was nice and cool out there, around about 12 degrees, but on the warm side perhaps, but not freezing as in years gone by.
And from early on, the Unugwaja twins adopted their usual tactics of trying to build up a buffer, a decent share between themselves and the second and third runners. And it looked like it was working. They were working very nicely together, talking, sharing drinks, and keeping the pace very fast.
Early on, of course, they were surrounded by a horde of men, some of them helpful with things like drinks, but some of them perhaps getting a little bit in the way. And Ellie Greenwood it was that was sitting back a long way off the pace, and the gap got bigger and bigger as the Unugwaja, who have in fact earned 18 out of a possible 22 first and second places in the last 11 years before this race. So entirely dominant, very confident, but Greenwood, Bruce, was just basically doing her own thing.
I've just had a chat to her, and she said she had actually settled for third, but she decided she couldn't go any faster and she'd just keep plugging along. And when they got to halfway, she was pretty convinced she would be third.
3:03, that's a very quick split through halfway, projecting out to just over 6 hours.
By die stadium was Ellie Greenwood so wat 8 minute agter die Unugwaja sisters, en ons naaste by gedink dat sy naby aan hulle gaan kom. Maar dit albei baie sterk gelyk. Daar is Ellie Greenwood wat deur Durban kom, en sy was so wat 8 minute agter Elena Unugwaja.
But Greenwood was quietly pushing on, doing her own race, not trying to mix it up in the front. But Elena and Alessia, very confident of their ability. Camille Herron was back in fourth place, the American athlete, looking somewhat uncomfortable with that style, but at this stage she'd just gone on the whole way with that particular style. Ahead of her, though, the big climb up the back of Drummond, Irina Antropova, the Russian multiple gold medalist, was quietly cruising along in fifth place behind them, going down towards the halfway, and that was the situation around about the halfway mark. It looked done and dusted for the Ngalievas.
And going down Bertha's Hill, the twins looking good, keeping up a fast pace. But the one thing that wasn't working is that the gap wasn't getting any bigger. And I think if you work out, if they had not had Ellie there, they would have won the race. The tactic would have won, would have been successful. But Ellie Greenwood was within range, and she told me that she started to get encouraging messages from the spectators to say, they're coming back to you, they're coming back to you, and that started to get her fired up.
Well, remember that Elena Ngalieva has done a 6:07 on the down run, so there's no doubt that she was running well within her capabilities. But as they headed along, the two of them were still together. Greenwood a long way back, then there was Herron. Shane Bosman at the stage was the leading South African.
Ja, Shane Bosman met die 5de plek gewees op die stadium. Sy het op die einde nie die wedloop voltooi nie. En ons het ook gekyk na Zola Budd Pieterse wat 8ste gelê het op die stadium in die wedloop. Nurgalieva tweeling wat baie goed gelyk het. Ellie Greenwood so wat 8 minute agter hulle, maar daardie gaping het al hoe kleiner en kleiner begin word.
Well, Ellie Greenwood was, as we said, just cruising along. Somehow, Bruce, in a world of her own. I don't know if she even heard anything or saw anything.
When I chatted to her now, she said she was picking up messages from the spectators, and that was encouraging her, but she still was starting to think that she would be second or third at the best. But what really encouraged her was when she heard that the invincible twins were walking from time to time, and that's what gave her a huge encouragement.
Well, there it was on Kawi's Hill, the nemesis of many a gold medalist over the years, and Alessia was the first to drop back, walking rather dejectedly back, and Elena, as is her wont, when Alessia struggles, she just leaves her, and we've seen that many, many times in Comrades. Alessia falling back and then getting going again, and then stopping and getting going. But Elena still was way out in the lead, and even at this stage, there was a decent gap between the two of them and Ellie Greenwood. Elena got going again, and off she went, and the question on everybody's mind was, just over 3 hours at halfway, was it too fast, too soon?
A lot of the runners that I've spoken to who have finished have said that suddenly at the bottom of Fields Hill they felt the heat and humidity, and it was like a soft, hot blanket being thrown over you and really sapped your strength.
Dan het Elena Nurgalieva iets met haar oorgekom, en op die stadium was het Alessia Nurgalieva wat voorgeloop het met Elena agter haar, en het gelyk of Alessia die wedloop gaan wen, maar sy het weer eens begin loop. So die Nurgalieva sisters wat die voortou met mekaar gedeel het, en Ellie Greenwood wat met 7 kilometer om te gaan slegs 2 minute en 46 secondes agter hulle was.
Alessia at that table taking something to eat, which I haven't seen from her at least forever actually, and now Greenwood coming up to the top of close to Durban. Greenwood was flying, and now when you're chasing from behind, Bruce, that is when you really go hard motivated.
This is an absolutely thrilling moment for you if you're the hunter. You go straight past. Notice she didn't say a word. That's not being unsporting. She's just putting the hammer down and saying, I'm going to win this race.
And look at that gap grow coming down into Durban. That's Tollgate in the background, and the stark difference in the speed from probably about sub 4 minutes a K to walking is remarkable.
And the anguish look on Alessia's face when she turned around to look behind, that's of course always a giveaway, that you're no longer thinking about winning, you're thinking, can I protect the position I'm in? Looking behind is not going to help.
I suspect also in her mind at that stage was, can I finish? Because they were clearly in all sorts of trouble.
Beide Elena en Alessia Nurgalieva wat op die stadium geloop het, oor hulle skouers gekyk het, wou seker maak dat Irina Antropova nie van agteraf inhaal nie, maar Antropova wat so 15 minute agter die voorlopers was, het 15 minute agter die voorloper Ellie Greenwood gebly. Greenwood wat baie goed gelyk het op hierdie stadium, op pad na die stadion toe, en daar was geen manier wat die Nurgalieva sisters kon terugkom na haar toe nie.
I doubt whether there were more than about 10 or 20 men that were running down that fast at that stage. She was really, really moving well, very smoothly. She didn't look like she was cramping. She didn't look like she was in trouble. And the 35-year-old Greenwood, second 2 years ago, and 2 gold medals, and that's her pedigree, and now racing for the win.
Ian, you're right. I don't think there are very, very few men who are running faster than this. And she said to me earlier that she just felt she was getting faster and faster as she smelt the finish, and didn't turn around once. She said that's it. She knew she was going to win and just driving herself as fast as she could.
So at that stage, 1 minute and 20 seconds was the gap as Ellie Greenwood headed down towards the Hilton Hotel, the big left turn, and the finish. And the Ngalieva twins, who have been so dominant in Comrades, were having all sorts of problems virtually to keep going. But it was pretty certain that they would make it to the finish. Luckily for them, Irina Antropova in 4th place was too far back. But it was all about Ellie Greenwood. And it's been a long, long time since a non-Russian won the Comrades Marathon.
And are we watching the start of a new era? Because I've got a feeling that we haven't seen the last of Ellie Greenwood, and she could well be a champion again. Though she says she's a better down runner, she's already started making plans to run next year's uprun.
Well, she'll have to beat Elena Ngalieva presumably next year, and Elena is way stronger on the uprun. Uprun record holder. Let's take nothing away from Ellie Greenwood. Arms up in the air. She finished the race in just over 6 hours and 18 minutes. It was slower than her time, 2nd place 2 years ago, but the tactics and the win were everything that counted.
Ellie Greenwood baie gelukkig daar op die einde, opgewonde wenner, en na haar sou die Unugwaja tweeling natuurlik inkom. Hulle het op die einde 2de en 3de geëindig, maar die wedloop was baie moeilik vir hulle.
What a contrast between 1st and 2nd. Elena, I must say that a very brave finish. Clearly she was struggling. She had awful patches all over the place, but hanging in for 2nd place. And somehow we think that, my goodness, if Elena's 2nd, what a failure. But it isn't like that. You know, 2nd is fantastic. So is 3rd. So the twins once again, 2nd and 3rd. But it was all about Elena Ngalieva. And at the end, exhaustion on Alessia's face. And she just walked and then crumpled down on the ground. Made it over the line, but boy, was she finished.
Twee russe daar wat op die grond gaan lê het. Albei van hulle, Ellie Greenwood het baie goed gelyk op die einde, maar die wedloop was net te veel vandag vir die Unugwaja tweeling. Irina Antropova wat op die einde 4de geëindig het, 15 minute na Ellie Greenwood. Sy het bietjie beter gelyk as die ander russe hier aan die einde, en 'n 4de plek vir Irina Antropova.
She's got a string of gold medals, and 4th is right up there with the best of them. So now she's a real sort of a permanent fixture, if you like, in the gold medals. That's another Nedbank.
And then the 2nd Briton, Joe Meek, coming in, looking good at the end, finishing strongly.
The first Comrades, Joe Meek, and she didn't quite know what to expect, but we had a little chat with her earlier in the week and explained some of the features of the race. And then the first South African was her.
Caroline Worsman coming in for her gold medal, a fantastic run. She's been dreaming of this for a couple of years. She's asked me for a bit of advice over the last few months, and I'm thrilled for her. Thoroughly deserved and a wonderful run.
Very valuable first place amongst the South African women.
En dan die groot gunsteling van die skare, Zola Budd Pieterse wat klaarmaak in die 7de plek. Uitstekende wedloop vir Zola. En hier kom sy in die 7de plek. En kom dit die skare wat gegil het haar naam Zola, Zola, soos in die stadion ingehardloop het. 'n baie gewilde 7de plek.
And a year ago, Zola helped me finish. 2 years ago, Zola helped me finish on the last down run. And I kept her an hour and 10 minutes slower than this finish.
Well, that just shows. And then we had from Sweden, Frida Sodermark, looking like she's walking on eggshells, but finishing nevertheless in 8th place. And we had quite a collection of international athletes from Russia and from Canada and now from Sweden. So Sodermark in her first Comrades doing very, very well indeed.
Maar die Swede in die manswedloop natuurlik Jonas Boot in die 7de plek. Hier in die vrouewedloop kry hulle die 8ste plek met Frida Sodermark. Maar hierdie is vir my die atleet van die Comrades, Martinique Potgieter, 9de plek hierdie jaar, na sy 162ste was in haar vorige wedloop, en sy het 2 ure 33 minute vinniger gehardloop as haar vorige beste tyd.
Just over 7 hours. That's a fantastic run. So a lot of surprises in this year's race. Another South African home was Julani Besson, collecting another gold medal.
En dit was die top 10 in die vroue wedloop. Jolani Basson wat die laaste goue medalje gekry het vir die vroue wedloop.
So, Ellie Greenwood's win, 6:18, 5 minutes clear of Nagalieva, Tripova and Jolani in the 10th place.